What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here, welcoming you to part 27, and the very last part of my Total War Warhammer 3 Sea Lord Aislinn Immortal Empires campaign. So here we are, this is the final episode. Admittedly, the interest in this campaign and the engagement has waned, but perhaps rightfully so, as there really isn't all that much to do anymore. As of last episode, Aislinn has breached the Everpeak's vaults, and in but a turn or so, and will regain the Phoenix Crown and put it back in its rightful hands, truly cementing high elven hegemony over the entire world. As I've noted in previous other campaigns, engagement-wise and such, very few campaigns last over 100 turns, and we've reached turn 101, so it does look like this campaign will be sort of adhering to that particular pattern. Dakala and Sail are going to continue their campaigns on the second channel, but they're like 30 turns or so behind Aislinn, so it does make sense. Aislinn's job is nearly done, and he's about ready to sail off into the sunset, as it were. Anyway, we still got a little bit to do. I want to get to those last of the high elven ancient colonies, though that'll be just a quick little auto-resolve, and get a few more fights out there, and just to cement a few more armies of final battles. Somebody asked in the comments what was the domination campaign victory objective for Aislinn, and it's the same as everybody: occupy, loot, razor, sack, the 272 different settlements. We're obviously not going to bother with. I'm actually not sure. I'm not entirely sure that this is actually possible anymore. At least for us, so maybe. I mean, it depends on how quickly our other allies would, like, if we were to do this, we're not, but if we were, basically this is the only area, the Darklands and the areas adjacent to it are the only areas left in the world where we can conquer. We've pretty much taken everything else, and we are only about halfway through the domination campaign victory. If the Cathians and such went over the mountains and started taking Darklands territories, I don't think we would be able to do this without, you know, betraying some allies and such. Well, I guess we could wipe out the last of the dwarfs, because I'm pretty sure that Angrund is the only ones left on the map if we really, really wanted to. But I don't know. Maybe they should just sort of skulk around in their mountains, knowing that we've reached the Everpeak and all the other dwarfs everywhere else have fallen. Anyway, I digress. Let's see if there's anything else there left to do in this particular turn as we continue onward. Okay, some heroes may need to move. You can sort of sit where you are, I guess. And, or we could just get you down to, well, it doesn't really matter, but I can move you down to Emmerich. In theory, you were supposed to join him, and I think that's it. Am I going to do the building this turn? There might not even be any building where it's so late in the campaign. I guess we'll just end the turn, and potentially, I believe this means we will get attacked here at Dreadrock, or at least I hope we do. These guys, let me just see here. Dreadrock, Pyrrhic victory, eh? Well, we'll give them a chance to sally out, because it's the very last fight that Kugeth will attempt against us, and if they don't bother, well, then we'll just auto-resolve them. How about that? Now let's head on in. And I hope I didn't forget anything, because if I did, it's too late now. Alright, Attain. Oh wow, there's only 48 factions left on the map. I'm thinking a good half of those are probably our allies or ally adjacent. There's a couple of whom we've obviously broken our agreements recently because they're holding the ancient elven colonies, and I still maintain that there should be a mechanic to get those back from factions that have taken them without just directly attacking them. Anyway, military alliance for Aislinn. I'm going to say no once again. Military alliances are only for other elves, and what is this? I gotta say I wasn't expecting that. Alright, Pyrrhic victory casualties high. Looks like Ugg has decided to attack Artheus the Vengeful. Well, I love Artheus, and I love his sword-tastic army. The enemy's got 3 Arachnaroks as well. And, ooh, the Doom Divers. This is gonna be a pretty difficult fight. That's a lot of artillery fire coming in at us. I do like the fact that our Artheus here is our Worm Slayer. I almost never give anybody the Worm Slayer sword, but we ended up giving him an insane amount of melee defense, to the point that even with a -20 to melee defense, it doesn't matter to him. And while his melee attack at 67 is relatively low, thanks to the Worm Slayer, he has a massive 110 bonus versus large, which I'm sure will come in handy against those Arachnarok spiders. So, yeah, interesting stuff. This may be Artheus' last fight, so let's enjoy it.
The time has come to show our prowess once more. The day shall be ours.
All right. Oh, I like how he looks back after making the speech. Just checking. Hey, everybody following me? You guys still there? Anyway, here we go. I think this will be a good fight. I remember in a previous fight, we, well, if not quite struggled against the Greenskins, there were 2 units of Doom Diver catapults that annoyed us pretty tremendously. And this time we have 5 artillery pieces, including 3 Doom Diver catapults and then 2 others, on top of 2 additional Ragnarok spider flingers, so potentially a lot of damage. Our ship's companies have continued to extremely increase in strength, 65 armor, 77, 88 melee attack and defense now, so very solid units. Well, at least in some stats, are basically on par with the Swords Masters, so it's pretty neat. Anyway, we take out the first 2 artillery pieces that we can close the distance with, get those Moondragon breaths upon them, and start tearing through their crews with the dragons themselves. The rest of our army books it towards the enemy, and as usual, once again, the Blades of Hoeth do get focused down by all the artillery pieces. Our Worm-slaying Lord moves towards that Ragnarok Flinger, while Boar Chariots and, well, just everybody moves on in. Here come the Mangler Squigs as well. I'd say something pithy about the Orc Boar Chariots, but as I've mentioned before, I kind of learned to like the unit when playing my Gorbad campaigns, so yeah, you know what, they're fine. Still completely outclassed by pump wagons, but they have their uses, I guess. Anyway, Black Orcs have made their way forward, and our ship's companies part ranks in order for the Swords Masters with those great swords of theirs to move on forward. Our faster moving elements, including the dragons and both sets of Rangers and Blade Singers, are now closing in with the rest of the artillery pieces, which have still been firing away this entire time. 2 more Moondragon breaths on one, and the Blade Singers will probably make very quick work of those poor goblin crews and with their twin blades. And frankly, the same thing with the regular Rangers, though we gotta chase down some enemy range units as well. Our Worm Slayer, attempting to slay a spider, brought it down by about 15-20% HP, but a lot more work to do there, and to his annoyance, because he's a Foot Lord, he keeps getting bowled over by that unit of Boar Boys, so kinda hard to do too much. I call that Grimgore's Revenge. Anyway, we've got some biggins still in the fight against the Sea Guardians, led by the Noble here, but we will continue holding them off just fine. Well, that's interesting. Oh right, I remember this. My game kind of froze for a second, and I was worried that the game would crash. It was very strange. Like, it paused just like that, and you couldn't see it here, but then weird little, like, square artifact appeared somewhere here. I've seen the same artifact, well, I will see the same artifact later on in the overworld as well. Frankly, I maybe should have restarted at this point, just in case, but all good. Either way, not super important. The enemy army is down to about 10% balance of power. We have caught one of the Arachnaroks and have in fact brought it down with the combined might of both of the Moon Dragons. There we go. And with the regular Arachnarok fallen, the Flinger will in fact shatter and book it on out of there together with the rest of the army. The enemy range units torn to shreds as they were by the Ranger units. And looks like we carry the day. The Arachnarok Flinger flees the Worm Slayer, but alas, he's too slow. Gotta try to chuck that trident or something at least. I do like the charge with the trident and the spear like that. That's got to be, it's got to be painful if he manages to catch up to you. Anyway, a victory for Arthas. Alright, there we go, a close victory and a nice and tough final fight for Arthas the Vengeful here, presumably final fight at any rate. The enemy artillery, there were a lot of them, and they were quite the annoyance for our army, especially those Doom Divers who sure love to target the various Swords Masters, especially the Blades of Hoeth, which every single time we fight the greenskins, and they really do get focused down by the Doom Divers. All good though, and I'm sure Artheus really enjoyed that, though like getting bowled around a little bit by the Boar Boys meant he couldn't quite deliver too much personal damage, or at least not nearly as much as he'd like. A lovely fighting. We will, I guess, heal ourselves. It's not like we need the money here. And let's see if those Nurglights decide to attack us as well. Competent Protector for Artheus the Vengeful. Achieve victory in multiple defensive battles. Ah, interesting. And it looks like the Nurglights decide that they weren't. Alright, that's fine. I mean, we've defeated them many a time, and they, well, we had quite a lot of fun doing so no need for another battle with them, I guess. We will establish outpost for Teclis like so, and that will also save on our movement range. Though healing would have been nice. Okay, wait. Poxmaker's destroyed as expected, down to 47 factions then. You, Phaedon, grab this shipwreck here, explore the island real quick. Auto-resolve and heal. While I have you. Then, the plagues are gonna be annoying to deal with, but it is what it is. Okay, so, you can't reach Ruin's End. Yeah, I was hoping to send one of you guys here. Yeah, Phaedon can't quite move nearly as far as this army can. Oh, well, I'd like you to go to Bitter Bay then, and then we will send Fertulios to Ruin's End next turn, so you can just sit here. You're not a dragon ship, so you'll need to heal on land, and then we'll move out to sea afterwards. Speaking of sea, let us see about those buildings. All right, there we go. And who's next building, or research-wise? Let's just go all the way through studies of the... Oh. It can... Do we actually want that? Oh, yeah, spell intensity, 10%. And I'm going to get demonetized for that one. Well, what can you do? Maybe I'll cut it out if I remember, which I might not. But anyway, this is not the Dakala campaign. Yeah, let's go through Horse Masters, shall we?
The Sea Patrol,
and then we will move to... Oh, again, let's just start from the top. Armandus, you, my friend, are going to be... Oh, you can't, can you? Wait. Yeah, you're going to have to sit here. Well, I guess you could grab this island. We can't declare war on these guys for a few more turns. I mean, I guess you could move past this to go towards these provinces, but I don't really care that much about them, so... Yeah. Alrighty, arms and armor. Not that you really are in need of that, but you never know. I wouldn't mind another lost cargo. Oh, and I also just realized something. We should have one of these available. Consult leaders, Teclis. And request Hoeth's strength. Give us charge reflection for swords masters and missile. I maybe could have used that in that fight, but anyway. And there we go. And then the only one that we don't have right now is Imric's, which we leave to last. Partly because we need it the least, and partly because, well... he kind of, well, his faction did get wiped out, so, you know. Alrighty, Imric, stay near Arnhan, there isn't really too much for you to do, and then I guess Bel-Lakai will give you back, and then we'll take you again, like so. Alrighty, and then you can just stay here in channel. And we can't declare war on these guys. Yeah, I think I jumped the gun a little bit by taking the Phoenix Crown. I just got so excited at the prospect of grabbing Karazakarak, because now we're down to one Elven colony, which means we have to go for the Lizardman colony first, and then go for the other colonies second. Anyway, a breached vault of Everpeak, please. Only one Phoenix Guard? Come on. And I guess at least for now, we're going to have to build a defensive structure here, so just do it. Alrighty, and Aislinn. That's a question. Do we actually want to... Well, actually, you know what? Grab the... I don't know if we want to bother going into the mountains here. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but we also might want to leave some of these territories alive so that we can deal with them. You know what? I'm going to have you raise the Pillars of Grugni, but not grab Mount Squighorn. At least, I assume that this isn't full of rats, though, but I would like to check just in case. So let's look at this particular territory. Let's see, Skaven Corruption. No, there's nothing here. Alright, so it's just a ruin, meaning we can raise this. Slay them indeed. Alrighty, and then we can just keep on moving back this way. Alright, there should be enough of a ruin buffer for Karazakarak to be okay while we don't have to deal with it. Anyway, Artheus, while I have you, let's have you grab a Hobnail's Tooth Take some of those teeth of his in turn.
Challenge them. Put them to
Like so. And then I guess land, grab Stone Mine Tower. And oh, that's part of this territory. I don't know if we actually want to bother with that. I guess we could land and raise it. Huh. And then go for Doc Karaz, Berg Dawasbeg, and maybe Iron Rock into Black Crag and stuff, but leave the lizards to the rest of the Badlands. How much Badlands do we really... I mean, it's not for us, but you know what I mean. Anyway, alright, auto-resolve this. And then just raise it. Oh yeah, I guess we could sack it as well. Sack it. And the other guys will raise it. And hey, we got another Seer Staff of Safari. That's actually fairly nice. I would like you to then grab Fell Cargo, and then we'll grab Doc Karaz by missed landing stance afterwards next turn. Like so, and sail to the wreck and ambush. How to resolve it, rather. Crazian Scout, and I assume that you can land. Like so, and Doc Karaz, I guess we won't need to do anything else. Like so, we'll heal up to full, we'll grab Doc Karaz next turn, and then lovely. Yeah, alright, so that I'm happy with, and then just Barrack Dawasbag and Doc Karaz, meaning we can maybe move Aislinn up here. Might get a nice fight out of Azag the Slaughterer. He's level 46. I think if anybody can still even potentially duel Aislinn, I guess it's gonna be him. Also, let's get a few of these upgrades going while we're here. We're at tier 5, so we are free to basically build whatever we please. Alright, anyway, let's go back to going through the top because I stopped. Salendor. I would like you to proceed towards the ancient city of Quintex, or at least keep an eye on it. We aren't intending on fighting these guys right now. We will want to peace out with them and then join the war against these guys to take their colony in 5 turns or so, but, well, that's in 5 turns or so, not right now. Anyway, you cannot reach... Oh, actually, you can reach Tower of Crack. Alright, you know what, Exarian, I would like you to encamp and then reinforce. We'll have Arathon move on in and grab the tower. Also, what are the Imperials doing here? Huh. There's a potential of abandoning Erengrad and then using the extra colony space that we have from abandoning it to grab the other colony. There's potential, and at least that way we wouldn't have to wait so many turns. Give this to Avalorn. Like so, and then go into channeling, I guess, because there's no real choice, and then, oh, well, I guess you can move past it then. Move into March Dance? Actually, that doesn't really give us anything, just go into channeling as well. Or Lilith's Blessing, if you prefer. Alright, Ithilmar Chariot for whoever that is, no. Noble in your army. Oh, you went back to your Eagle, yeah, the Eagle's fine. In this particular situation, for our particular purposes, can you grab Hellpit from here? No, you're just out of range of everything, because of course you are. Alright, fine. You can grab Castle Alexandrinov then, Rodir the Brave, and we may or may not abandon Erengrad. It's not like it's growing quickly anyway, and it's not like it's critical. Auto-resolve. And establish outpost for Avalorn. Like so. And you are going to go into encamp, and then you'll grab Zoishank next turn then. Alright, this allows Saji to, I guess, go to Hellpit. Or we could just move further out to Prague. We'll move out to Prague. A, we don't really care about Hellpit. B, there's an army here. It's not much of an army, though. But it would put us closer to potentially the Challengers of Khorne. Frankly, I wanted to go back up this way, so I'll send one of you to Hellpit and then the other one up to Krakadrak. It's like we can rely on these guys to, you know, do it for us. Can't really rely on them at all, in fact, anyway. Mantressa, you were kind of waiting for some other troops. Let's put you out here near Tahama. Near Volcano's Heart. Probably going to get you one final fight in this campaign as well, just a little bit later. Just because if anybody in this campaign has earned it, it's probably Mantressa. Fertulios is fine. Inrian the Just, you were kind of, yeah. I wanted to get you a battle, but you're gonna take some time. I guess we could use you two if we let Erengrad go, retake it. Although Mr. Humphrey Lightdorf here is kind of annoyingly close to it. Kinda don't like that either. We'll see if he moves away. Anyway, who's Melwyn again? Oh, right. Do we want to return you, Melwyn? I'm just wondering whether we should send you to the Underworld Sea. Does that actually do anything for us? I don't think you do anything for us anymore. We don't need you, do we? Alright, Melwyn, goodbye. Sort of bloodshed, eh? I thought about stealing it, but this isn't the campaign for it. Thale, I could see screwing his allies over in that manner. Aislinn maybe not so much. Anyway, Westara, you are gonna join Montressa, so keep on going this way, please. And Jinquilla, you're kind of doing the same, though actually you reaching that is gonna be a long time. Yurtle and Finrare, the new guys. You don't really have any place to be, so just I don't know. I was gonna, well, you know, move a little bit closer, I guess. But stay close to each other, and the rest of that, I believe, is good. We don't need to move the tech thieves. I'm sorry, Zubaran, but you had the early game fights, so you're just gonna have to live where you are. Alright, real quick, Mathlann. We deleted something in order to... And we don't really care about the Royal Chartered Fleet, either. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to ignore this, and we have plenty of elven trade, but we also have plenty of money. What's our trade at, by the way? 74,000 per turn. More than our building income. And lovely. Build the Illyrian stables or whatever it was there. Sartosa, max yourself out, please. Turtle Isles, yes, you're at tier 5, and it's going to be a very quick little upgrade here. Go for the coastal shipyard, though we don't need that at this point anymore either. And then I guess we'll go for the silversmith's hall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, yeah, you got your stuff. Albion real quick. And the final level of the Ohm Stones, meaning more winds of magic power reserve capacity. I guess the dragon ship berth as well. Here we did not have the sunlit pavilion, so we will build that and eschew the market, I guess. I mean, we could build it, but who cares about 1,500 gold? We could make it even more defended, I guess, by building the Asur gate. Actually, just out of curiosity, what do we have at our original province? Wait a moment. Not the Black Flood, but here. Oh, right, I deleted that as well. I was just looking at the military buildings to see if there was a place where we could get rid of a military building that we no longer needed. The main one was here in Toranlek, because we have 3 of the infrastructure buildings rather than the 4 we wanted. Meaning, we're probably fine. So, Conquata, just build another defensive structure. You'll be just fine by the looks of it. Elven Sigils it is. Alrighty, Obsidian Peaks, so let's upgrade you. Hey, all of these places are reaching tier 5 as well. Just another sort of a feather in Aislinn's cap, I guess, in terms of just pure having every single thing. And there's no other structure that you need either, so go for the defenses. Seaguard lookouts. Why not? Alrighty, and then we're not going to bother with the outpost building, screw it. We're past that. Alright, looks good to me. It's another end turn. So skip, unassigned skill points, heroes, lords, outposts. I don't believe we'll get attacked anywhere, but I guess we're about to find out. Who is Kithorn? Kithorn Arel. Oh, right. I was going to pop you into Imric's army. I mean, he's just sitting there anyway, so that hardly matters. Now, we should take a look at the courtly intrigue, or whatever it is. Intrigue at court. That's close enough. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, because we will potentially want to make the lizardmen friendlier, not these lizardmen, other lizardmen. Peace treaty. I'd love to, but not yet. And mostly I'd love to just so that we take the Hag's Hall and, or the Val's Anvil and the other thing. Yep, 47 settlements. Alrighty, I wonder who... Oh, wait, I remember who. I was about to say, I wonder who's still the strongest faction that is potentially our enemy here, and it's the Chaos Dwarfs under Astrogoth, but you know, they're just hanging around in the Darklands, let them do their thing. Ah, yes, Yorian, who got recruited and then instantly assassinated. Go this way. Keep buffing up those Horse Masters. Florian's Robe. Ow! A new unusual location. We're still getting these? Isn't that cute? What do we have here? Dwarf Mineshaft. Trade settlement for trade settlement resources produced and income from all buildings. It's kind of funny. I'm tempted to just delete it just because it's funny, but yeah, we'll leave it, whatever. It's not like we really need the money either, but
I serve the king.
Both the idea of keeping it and the idea of deleting it both amuse me. Just deleting it out of spite, mind you. Anyway, Armandus, you're just gonna hang around at Grand Team Mingol until we're ready to betray those lizards. You, Artheus. I started doing it out of order again, didn't I? Yeah, whatever. Alright, go to Dok-Karaz. Out-of-resolve Dok-Karaz. And establish outpost to Dok-Karaz for Ivres. Like so, and that's 3 out of 4 territories. Here, though, we will build the defenses just because there's a decent likelihood that somebody attacks us, and I really don't want to go back. I probably wouldn't even bother going back, but I still really don't. Anyway, Aislinn. You can reach Barag Dawa's bag and actually recover your movement range, meaning, yeah, you know what, go for Barag Dawa's bag since you'll recover anyway, and then head to Azag, alright, auto-resolve. Yeah. And establish outpost for reverse. And they should have the full province down here. Wailing Banner. Oh, wow, you still have banner slots? Yeah. Alright, the movement recovery for Aislinn has been really nice, I gotta admit. And honestly, I really have enjoyed Aislinn's playstyle. It's really fun painting the map in this manner, like, compared to other factions that are sort of horde factions that are at least somewhat similar. Aislinn has a really good mechanic for it. Anyway, are you guys really gonna hang around here near Terrangrad? Come on now. You grab the remnants of battle, you road deer. Yoda Zoisheng. Arabian Arms, sure you can land at Terrangrad. Okay, you can land at Terrangrad after we do this. Alright, establish outpost for Avalorn. He likes so. Sword of Might, Scroll of Power. Oh look, we're getting some items now. Faction destroyed, World Walkers. Well then, lovely. Anyway, I guess you're just gonna have to help it. We'll have Xarian the Fierce move this way then, and I guess you, Arathon, move this way as well. You two can just stay there. Alright. And then, well actually one of you can... Oh, whoa! Throggy boy, where are you going? Oh, where are you going with your terrible army? We might not get a chance to have a better fight, though, for Saji's final fight. I was hoping to find the either Astrogoth's main stack or somebody's main stack out here, but there's no guarantee, and maybe we just get this as a sort of final duel for Caradhrian himself. I wouldn't say that's a bad idea, would you? Anyway, I believe we have the entire red line, unless I'm mistaken. Bowmaster and Skymaster and Master Strategist. We don't need Vanguard Master, we don't need Cavalry Master, and we certainly don't need Militia Master. This is a much more elite army than that. Alright, Sword Player, Blade Master, hard to hit. You have Mentor already. Let's get you Speed of Asurian. I would like you to have Missile Resistance. Foe Seeker, and by going for Word of Loek, we... yeah, whatever. Forewent Deadly Onslaught, a Wound Maker. Looks good. Let's level everybody else as well. You. I guess on the way to Colossal Strike, so Shield of Avalorn. 6 melee defense, 6 hit points. Fair enough. And... honestly, none of these are really helpful to you. I mean, I guess you might fight in melee on occasion if you're protecting your ranged elements that you're always standing with. Student of the White Tower, please. And let's go Lilith, Spessing, Word of Loek, and Word of Hoeth, and do one of these. Second point in all of these. And, might as well go through scouting. Maybe I should have been using scouting a little bit more over the course of the campaign, as that might have given us more opportunities to acquire items, which we had something of a dearth of over the course of the campaign. Anyway, you. Just out of curiosity, look at the stats on these fire mages with those fire dragons. It's fantastic. You got to love that incendiary trait. But anyway, Glamour of Hoeth, yes please. Word of Hoeth, Word of Loek, Sword of Speed of Asurian. And let's see, Earthblood is spammy, Vissen's Wild Form, Spirit Leech, Harmonic Convergence, all of those. I want at least 1 point in Melkoth's, and let's actually max these out. And yeah, maybe we'll get 2 points in Melkoth's and Shem's, but well, only 1 point remains to complete the entirety of the tree, so we'll probably do that anyway. Hard to hit for Mr. Caradhrian. Blade Shield, Wound Maker, Feint and Riposte, melee defense plus 4, melee attack plus 24, and physical resistance plus 20. Pretty solid. Wound Maker, get you hitting a little bit harder, get you Scarred Vet, obviously. Valor of the Ages feels appropriate for you as well. And alright, Saji and Caradhrian go after Throggy, who has so tremendously foolishly moved around in March stance. Our army will absolutely slaughter their way through those poor marauders, but I do intend to see how the duel between Caradhrian and between Throg goes. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Poor Throggy is screwed, completely screwed. We got the perfect choke point on top of this bridge here, and the enemy certainly isn't going to be able to make its way through the ranks of the Phoenix Guard in order to reach the range units, which will most likely obliterate them. And ooh, this particular lighting looks pretty darn great on the Phoenix, the Asurian army here. Though it'll match the fires of the dragons as well, and I am willing to bet that the enemy isn't going to be too happy about it. Double burning head through the ranks of the enemy and flame breaths as Caradrian closes the distance with Throg and the arrows from the talons of Torcalida, as well as the units of Sisters of Avalorn are let loose. Unfortunately, they will auto-target Throg, and with a volley, or maybe a single full volley or two volleys, they pretty much bring him down to like 5% of his HP and allow Caradrian to finish him off. I didn't tell them to do that. They're not even purposely firing on anything. I guess Throg just was in not the ideal position. Down on the other bridge, the flame storms and the burning heads are tearing through the ranks of the poor enemy marauders. And yeah, as soon as I saw this bridge map, I knew these enemies are done for. Also, are we maxed in terms of reload? No, 5.2 seconds, because still use a little bit more in the way of buffs. Anyway, enemies still rushing us, at least there's that. Our Phoenixes will also join the fray. They're not needed to help the Phoenix Guard or the units of Sisters of Avalorn and such, and will instead burn down the poor marauders and help out the dragons. Not that the dragons, the fire mages, or the lord really needed all that much in the way of help either, and it looks like with that, the enemy's ranks will break just as they reach, and the Phoenix Guards, some of them attempting to escape through their ranks because that makes them safer from arrows. But they'll get cut down either way. There we go. We bid farewell to Throg, who did not have a good time at all. And we bid farewell to the enemy with a mystical phoenix moving through their ranks. Yeah, I genuinely didn't mean to pincushionable Throggy. It just happened so fast. But anyway, yeah, the enemy got trounced. That bridge map that we got, that spelled Throg's doom pretty much immediately. You'd think smart Throg would be smart enough to you know, not attempt the crossing there. But anyway, Saji, weapon strength plus 3%. And bonus versus Arch plus 15. That would have been funny on our Wormslayer fella. But, well, actually we should probably build defenses here at the very least as well. Just so we don't have to backtrack. Not that once again we will. There we go. I'm not even going to bother with the other buildings. Good. It looks good to me. Salandor, wait. We did move you, didn't we? Alright, so I guess we have to go through and check who did not move that needed to move. Ferrotulios, you're healed now. Alright, so you're one. And you will have to go out to sea and head to Ruin's End. And then I guess to Pig Barter? Oh, there's a decent likelihood that these guys just grab it, which would be kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Go here. And, well, if it isn't Clan Rictus. Just out of curiosity, Rictus is currently allied with just Clan Moors, and, well, this was always going to happen, so, yeah. Take Ruin's End, please. Declare war. Do we call our allies to help? You know what, I'm gonna not bother. Well, then again. You know what, it'll just slow down the end turns. I'm gonna say no. If you're wondering what I mean, is that that'll be more armies that are potentially moving out this way, and we don't want to wait for that. You're gonna go to Ivres, because Ivres likes the outposts. Not the outposts. The Ivres likes the whatchamacallums, Badlands. Obviously preferable to give to Imric, but you know he's not an option. It would be nice to. I mean, and we could have recovered him, I guess, by going here. But anyway, you're gonna go to Bitter Bay then. Might have been nice to take it as well because it's got a landmark, but it is what it is, especially because it's a movement range for all armies landmark. But anyway, establish outpost and go for, I guess, Ivres again. Is it? Oh, actually I just realized, Nagaryth is another one that, they also like Badlands, don't they? I think I checked and they did, and then I forgot how to check it for like the 50th time. Ah, yes. Yeah, so they like Wastelands. Ivres likes Wastelands. You know what, let's give it to Nagaryth. We haven't given them any other territory. Mostly because they're stupid. For being wiped out, basically. And it bothers me that they were. You know what? Screw it. Give it to Ivras. Again. Since we have all those mist mages, doesn't it feel appropriate to keep giving stuff to Ivras instead? Anyway, you're gonna go to Lilith's blessing and proceed to the fortress of Vorag. We will build the defenses here, though. Alright, looks good to me. I believe that's it, unless I'm mistaken. And in the gist, there are a few heroes, but we only need to really move Astara because she's joining Montreza. And I was gonna give her items, but I don't think we even have items to give, so that's fine. So you go here, and I believe that's it, minus one minor thing, just for completionism's sake. What do we have in terms of fire mages available? I don't like either of these. Recruit, delete, and recruit. We have another crushing noble. That would be nice if we still needed one. Recruit and delete. And there is a possibility of just getting more crushing nobles and then spamming them in Imric's army. I don't really need the fire mages either. I was going to replace the forest dragons with them, but anyway, all good. I believe we're good to end the turn, minus building, such as it is, and there really isn't much. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and... Oh, right. Fledgling colony in Erengrad. If we don't abandon it to, you know, expedite matters. One more turn, the breached vault of Everpeak will be ours. There we go. That's the building. Skip. Outposts? Yeah, I don't think we care about that, or at least we are past caring. And would you please take Wrecker's Point? What are you doing? Ooh, we have a right available. Go for Invocation of Asurian, I guess. Why not? Not that it's looking like we needed all that much. Now we can end the turn. Probably could have checked Diplo, but at the same time, what would we be looking for from Diplo at this point? Military alliance with the Yenbo. No, only defensive alliances. You're not an elf, much as you'd like to be, I'm sure. Okay, I thought it was gonna crash. I saw some weird, like, little, I don't know, artifact there, like a little graphical artifact. I don't know if it was visible on the screen for you guys or not, but it might have been. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. The elves have landed here to Wrecker's Point, which we left for these guys to complete. You're right there. Occupy it, you useless AI. We could have just kept going after taking Marienburg and kept taking out the the manlings. Anyway, grab Studies of the Vortex. Why not? We're very near to being done with the techs as well. And now, look at that, more Avalornian armies are moving in. Yes, still can't abandon Erengrad, can we? You know what, you sit here. Rodir, can you... You cannot reach, help it. Alright, fine, fair enough. Just looking for armies, but I don't see any here. You go all the way... Yeah, you know what, we'll send you to help it. And then you can go around to Krakadrak, which is going to take a little bit longer. And then Arathon, you can go this way. And maybe you'll run into a full stack while in March stance, but if you do, you're just going to have to deal with it. You, Saji, take Prague. Prague. And auto-resolve it, because I don't think we need to kill off a giant pile of marauders again. I mean, look at the damage. The Wand of Jet and establish outpost for once again Avalorn. Alright. I guess some of these frozen climbs we could have... Hey, free potion of healing. Some of these frozen climbs we could have actually given to Nagarath. Once again, I'm still holding a bit of a grudge for them getting themselves killed. Hello! We got armies here. I wonder if they're good ones. I really did want to get a... I mean, if we can get a fight against the fire-resistant enemies for our fire army, I would really like that. How many more turns until we can do this? Declare war? 3 turns. Alright, I think then we'll go to Intrigue at Court between us and... Oh, hasn't reduced... whatever. Okay, we'll wait a turn again. We'll be fine. Salandor the Patient, living up to his name as he's just sitting there, though I do have to wonder if Mazdamundi's just going to straight up attack him. You can go to encamp stance just in case he does. Not that we really care. He hasn't pieced out with these guys, has he? No. That would have been annoying if he had. Not that I would be surprised. Arthas, you can reach this annoying little... You know what, kill this, because it's just going to bother me that it's sitting there. It's not like we're in a big hurry to go after this place. And wait, did these guys stop? You gotta be kidding me. They stopped their advance to the Badlands? Oh, Banner of Swiftness. That would have been nice earlier. Game. Why? Why do you hate me? Where did you go? Artheus, you are not done, so you can go into an camp, start going this way. I would like then for you, since you're rank 40, to quickly grab Mentor, and then quickly just keep building your dragon ship. A 1 and a 2, and... I mean, I just build both of these. Wait, what are we missing? Oh, we're missing the dragon's nest. Yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. Alright, Armandus, you're not a dragon ship, right? Yeah, no, you're not. Salandor, you are not... Well, actually, you are. And thus, we should build what you're missing. 1, 2, and 3. And then I guess we can upgrade these. I believe I always go for Master Shipwrights rather than the Harvesting Cutters, because this one is for Circle of Influence, and... that doesn't really do anything for us, because we don't actually use the dragon ships like Black Arcs in order to support our stuff. Thusly, there isn't much of a point. Anyway, Aislinn, you. Keep on moving. Go see if you can't find a nice Azag to stab. There he is, with 2 of his armies. And, looks like the dwarfs are reclaiming some of those Carracks. Well, they're not going to be happy about this. The breached Vault of the Everpeak, minus 50 diplomatic relations with dwarfs, plus 5 Lord Recruit rank, leadership plus 10 for all armies, control plus 3. It's a pretty darn strong... it's a pretty darn strong landmark. Might actually be one that would be nice to have in the early game for somebody like, I guess, Imrik, somebody who's close enough to actually reach and breach the Everpeak, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Anyway, Mantressa, I guess just sit there for another turn or so. It's not like you're going anywhere. It's not like the enemies are going anywhere. Ferrotulios, are you and Phaedian? Wait. Huh?
Limitless talent. Where now?
Am I crazy, or did was Ferrotulios here right beside Pigbarter before this? What? Oh, you have Mad's map. I completely forgot about that. Oh, come on. Oh, I am not surprised, but I am annoyed. Yeah, so Mad's map seems like a really good thing to have at sea, but on land it just starts screwing you. Alright, lose the Mad's map. We're just gonna get moved out again. The annoyance is real, but anyway. Inrian, I just sit here for a bit, beside Narengrad, I don't know. May abandon it, may not. It's not like it's a big deal. You go to the Fortress of Vorag and give it to defenses. Give it to these, get Pyrrhic victory. Huh. You know what? Besiege this. If there's another army nearby, they might move in to sally out and fight us, and I would certainly love for Phaedian to get a little bit of action. Alright, Dwellers Below, Magical Reserves, Greater Arcane Conduit. Noble, what are we missing here? Oh, we only have 4 points. Blade Shield into, I'm gonna say, Full Plate Armor. You're gonna need it on the Eagle. Colossal Strike and Ward of... Probably should have gotten Ward of Loak instead of Hoeth, but whatever. It's not like the rats are going to be threatening you with spellwork so much as range damage, right? Yeah. Alrighty, anyway, who was that? Anybody else? Mantressa already checked. Imric already checked. Inrian I checked. Oh, actually, Inrian, you can build the sail, though. Oh, wait. You are 1 point away from... Yeah, don't build the sail, then. I lied. Bellakai is fine, but Yorian and Jinquella still need to move. You know what? Yorian, stay here. I'm not gonna move you anymore. Jinquella is at least close enough to potentially, in theory, reach Mantressa, although she's far enough away that maybe I don't care about moving all that way either. Fire Mage, just on the principle of the thing. We got a Conductor, which is great, but not what we're looking for. Fishing for those traits, man, but just for fun. Obviously, we don't need those traits, and yeah, we're not moving anybody else. I will, however, check building, just not outpost building, because we're past that point in time. Zlatlan, you're good. Ooh, and since Zlatlan is good, we can delete this building here in Toranlek. Alright, and if you're wondering why I'm bothering with any of this, and then A, it's because there's very little of it, let's face it. It's only our main colonies that we're upgrading at this point in time, A, and B... Oh, you have the Mistwalker's Lodge? We don't need this here, do we? We don't really need dragon ship supplies anymore. I mean, I guess we could keep it just keep it, whatever. Just to not bother rebuilding stuff. Sunlit Pavilion. What was I saying? Yeah, just basically just to watch the numbers go up. I'm just curious to see what our final sort of trade income will be at the end of the campaign. It's the only reason I'm still bothering to build any of that stuff. I would have liked to have built some of the landmarks, like the tower at Grand and then these two things. We would need to be tier 5 here. Not that, again, it matters all that much. Anyway, let's skip. I want to see how long until we can, for completionism's sake, for 6 turns. And then we grab Imric, and that will be all of the champions of all of the types of units. Alright, still a few armies here. Let's end the turn. Next turn we'll use the courtly intrigue, regardless of how the lizards feel. And then quickly... It will mean piecing out with the orcs. Well, actually, we'll want to piece out with the orcs once we've maybe taken Death Pass and such, so leave the rest of the Badlands to an eternal war between the lizards and such. Carl, what you want? No. Oh. Actually. I mean... Oh. I'm just wondering whether we can get anything out of doing this, and I feel that we cannot. We're not going to put any, like, elven outposts here in the center of the Empire. There's no really need to bother. Yeah, sure, why not? You know what? Keep your money because you're an idiot, and you need it more than we do. Too real, man. Anyway, sure, we'll join the war. We'll join the war, buddy. Alrighty, and then we were going to try to hunt down Azag with Aislinn anyway. Hopefully, because of anti-player bias, he might move towards us. And hello, did these guys sack one of our allied territories that we just got with that army of theirs? Rite of Awakening, Ambusher discovered, technology research, spell resistance, and that lovely. We will go for Disciples of Hoeth now. Not a lot of techs remaining either, isn't that lovely? Anyway, let's start from... Azag, alright. Aislinn, recover your movement range by sacking Schwarzhofen, I guess. Alright, as soon as you sack it... Okay, I can just go this way. Alright, auto-resolve, and sack it, and try not to move too much. Stop. Yeah, but sure. Alrighty, then we can go right here, and move towards this guy. Yeah, he's got another army out here. You're all free to attack Aislinn much as you like there, Azag. Wow. Wow, that is so frickin' stupid. Yeah, I found that, I don't know. Without apps of some kind, the AI builds absolutely silly stacks in the late game. I saw some really silly ones. I'm looking for one right now with the Empire. That's a lot of demigryphs, for example. This one's at least got a couple of halberds and a couple of basic units, although this is just the reason that they have these huntsmen is because the AI is stupid in selecting good units from the outposts and the whatever. Anyway, let's hope that Azag comes to us instead of having to hunt him down. Anyway, go for that intrigue at court. Still hasn't gone down, whatever. Us and the last defenders. Improve relations. Oh wow, that was expensive. It's more expensive than I anticipated, but that's fine. We're going up to 350, so they might not care about the 2-turn war. Or 1-turn war. Sail to the wreck. Auto resolve. Come on, lost cargo. Yeah, just money. Alright, well, you just sit to Granty Mingo then. In just a couple more turns, right? Or is it one more turn? 2 more turns or 1 more turn? Declare war. 2 turns, alright. Nearly there. I also haven't checked Diplo, and maybe we should Salander the Patient. Again, the most appropriate lord to have done this. I wonder if Mazda will in fact attack us. I don't really care about taking the ancient city of Quintex, but... Anyway, Arathond, I guess you're going with Sioktraken, because I don't see anybody here. Exarian, I don't believe you can in regular... Game, please, 1 second. I don't believe you can reach Krakadrak in 1 turn. No, and just go very near it. I wonder if these guys would have taken it for themselves anyway. It's a possibility. Rodeer, grab Helpit for our... Oh, it's Badlands. You know what? Just for fun, we'll give this to Nagaroth. You get 1. Alright, there you go, Nagaroth. And we'll build you defenses, but I'm not bothering with anything else. Free Dragon Helm, and then you can encamp and then start moving this way. I see, it's Astrogruel. We have Astrogoth at home. Huh, wait, that's a second Astroghoul. There's an Astroghoul Iron... Well, I don't know. There's one that's... somebody remind me. I remember laughing about it a lot, but it's very similar to Astrogoth Iron Hand, except it's Astrogoth something something. But I don't remember what exactly it was. I guess you're just waiting for the Dragon Ship Citadel. Anyway, what kind of army do we... That's a terrible army. But there are other armies nearby, so here's what we will do. You are currently allied with the Challengers of Khorne, who you want to declare war upon anyway. Call our allies to help. Screw it, call our allies to help. Why not? And I know I earlier didn't do that, but now I am, because shut up. Anyway, you are going to besiege Volksgrad. I saw another army nearby, and it might be within march stance range, because obviously this isn't worth our time, but if there's another full stack, between the Dreadquake bombardment, between all of those hobgobs, it might be worth our time and effort. You've only got 2 points, but I'm gonna grab you Word of Hoeth and Deadly Onslaught, and then for these guys, I don't think we really need to care. Let's just get you Colossal Strike. Mages are fine, right? Okay, you should have excellent efficiency, to be fair, and we do use Flaming Sword of Ruin a lot, although funnily enough against the fire-resistant enemies may not be quite as useful. I readily admit. Alright, good enough. And, we don't need to level anybody else. We'll deal with it later. Anyway, let's start from the top and try to figure out who actually needs to move, because I lost my place, and, yes, you. I still don't see anybody here, so we'll just keep giving this to Avalorn. Establish outpost for Avalorn, there you go. And then you can go into encamp stance and move past the Octrek, and we will need to build defenses here. Admittedly, I'm not really doing a good job at that, but whatever. All good, right? Anyway, Mantressa, do we want you to get your fight here? These guys are still sticking around. Maybe we do. I was hoping that they would get a bigger sort of army, but there's no guarantee that we ever get one here. At least against these guys. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Oh! Huh. I wonder if we could find Archie. Ooh, this is actually a better army than this army. Maybe we just auto-resolve this army, if the game lets us. Alright, screw it. Declare war. Yeah, sure, call allies to help, I don't care. Alrighty, Mantressa. What are we missing here? I never bothered with any of the dedications, mostly because, I don't know, there isn't really one I like. Let's grab Fate of Biuna, because it can be useful against Chosen and Chaos Knights and such, and we'll obviously grab Bowmaster, because we have been using it quite a bit. The Handmaidens, we have the important... Oh, you're the one that... Yeah. We're waiting to level them up. You can grab Training, though. Mr. Lore Master, you're actually going to spend most of every battle hidden and just occasionally spamming Spirit Leech and Earthblood to help out. So your actual skills don't matter over much compared to the other units. You are going to go to Volcano's Heart, and if it's low casualties, we'll just auto-resolve it and proceed to the Crystal Spires instead. Yeah, obviously, the exact same thing here would happen as already happened against Throg, so we don't need a repeat of that. You are going to Everest, I believe. Alrighty, a free scroll of stone, which is nice, though we did have a couple earlier and I couldn't really find a use I was particularly happy with. Ooh, you've reached rank 12, yes, yes you have. And you're both honed, unless I'm mistaken? You are indeed. Well, let's get you that hawkish precision, shall we? There we go, that just strengthened our Shadow Warriors. Alright, we'll do the other levels if and when we run into a proper army. And I do mean if and when, or if and when, rather. Anyway, that was Mantressa Imric. You're stuck for 1 or 2 more turns. Feratulios. Oh, that Mads map. I'm still so salty about that. Anyway, go here, grab Big Border, please. And Inrian, you're stuck here in the hopes of abandoning Erengrad to speed matters along, though that actually happening remains to be seen. And do these guys not bother sallying out? You gotta be kidding me. Do they have defense? They have the defensive building, meaning we can't have a nice fight out of this. Because of the... Well, you know what? Just sit there. Maybe an army will come down this way, who knows. It's not worth... It's not... Yeah, it wouldn't be a good fight otherwise. What do we have here, incidentally? Ah, even more Arachnaroks. These guys sure like spamming them. Probably means... Ooh, did you have Mentor? Yes. I guess we could grab you Woundmaker into Quicksilver Strike just because we don't have it, and I'm not going to bother getting anything else. What do you guys say about this? Pyrrhic Victory. I mean, we just fought this and they attacked us. I feel like it may not be needed. I mean, this army has just fought a very similar stack, and we know we'd win. The enemy would have no chance. Now, you sit here and heal up, and then we will continue to build the defenses, or else the place will just get sacked again by these guys. Huh. I wonder if you're gonna grab some of these territories, since, look at that, the lizards have backed off. All of the lizard armies were together advancing here, where the orcs were weakened, and now they have all conspicuously, very conspicuously stopped. Why? To keep them alive? Because it's not like they have other threats, do they? They are only at war with the Ironclaw orcs, so what possible reason could their half a dozen armies have for retreating? Frankly, I'd say the same thing for the Cult of Sigmar, but they're at least not sharing a border with the orcs there, right? Oh, AI. Why are you so silly? Anyway, Bellakai, you're good. We don't need to move the heroes. Let's do the building, because it only takes like 30 seconds each time, and we're nearly good there. You are going to build that Sunlit Pavilion. You, tier 5, lovely. The Capes. See those numbers go on up. And Aarongrad, yeah, just whatever. Alright, good enough. Diplomacy, just real quick and out of curiosity. We don't have any new trade agreements. Daughters of the Forest, I'd love to ally with you. As soon as we take a couple of settlements from you. Military alliances, no other elves. I was looking at the Wood Elves in particular. What about the Bowmen of Orient? Yes, still no, eh? It's just out of curiosity. We're plus 73 and they refuse any kind of alliance with us. It's kind of obnoxious. Down there and kill them all. Just out of spite. Anyway, Saji, just keep on besieging there, buddy. There isn't anything else to do then, so we'll skip. It said something about building, but all good. Alright, come on, somebody sally out and attack us. Mother of Stank, did I just see the Challengers of Khorne with a full stack running around? I'd like to see what kind of full stack they have out there. I really, really would. If it's a... If it's a nice late-game Khornate stack, it might be worth moving here to hunt them down and kill them all. You know, Bloodthirsters and all that, it's been a while since I've seen a Slaughter Bruton field. I think, wait, did Valkia have one? Hello. A Sea Lord Aislinn will indeed. Beautiful, beautiful, with 2 stacks and 1 billion Ragnaroks. This is everything I wanted, guys. This will be Aislinn's final battle of the campaign. All the other battles will most likely be auto-resolved, so we're definitely going to enjoy this. A level 49 at... Wait. He didn't attack anybody. We saw he was at rank 40... I want to say 5 before. He leveled 4 levels just by moving. It's interesting. Okay, sure. Sure, AI. Cheater. Anyway. Oh, and there's another Ragnarok fling around this army. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Away we go. Alright, by the looks of it, no speech from Aislinn, as he does get hit by the gaze of Nagash from Azag, but that's alright. Aislinn will let, well, mostly the dragon do the talking. Anyway, here we go. We got a big old fight against the orcs here with 3 stacks, counting the Wa units and all that, which should be pretty darn fun, plus a near-peer enemy lord to lead the enemy army. As Azag is too scared to fight Aislinn one-on-one, we have to stop him in his tracks with the faster-moving eagle, and frankly, we tear poor Azag to shreds extremely quickly. There we go. Level 46 or not, he will drop out of the sky. We are now focusing down the Ragnarok Flingers, 2 of which have already fallen, and we are making good use of the Envelop in Mist ability, as well as the spells that allow us to do the same thing, so that we've been able to essentially fire at the enemy while stalking and sniping this entire time. It's working out quite well, at least for now, though the enemy are starting to approach, and the Boar Boys closing the distance allows them to spot our units of Stormguard and the other units of Lothern Sea Guard, and thus some of the Ragnarok Flingers to fire upon them. Boar Boys still moving around, but they were perhaps only screening the advance of the Night Goblins here, who have closed the distance, and we've got the Spinning Loons released. And here comes the real damage. There we go, look at that. One hit from the Spinning Loons takes 50% of the HP from 2 of our units of Backliner Sea Guard, and about a quarter of their HP and damage from the frontliners as well. Much more than the Arachnaroks or the Orc Boar Boys or the Biggins or Hazag or anything else so far. And there's probably more loons where that came from. We do have limited resources as well, so we have to keep fighting where we can in terms of taking out the enemy melee. It looks like Select One Eye has in the meantime defeated an Arachnarok, and oh, I noticed that the Arachnarok Flingers do have a very similar color scheme to Select there. Ooh, a nice Arachnarok Flinger gets brought down by the units of Skycutters, and looks like another set of Spinning Loons has been released through our ranks, and good lord. The damage is pretty severe, all things considered. The bounce power has in fact dropped by 5% to 55% in the enemy's favor, as the reinforcements have arrived and are moving to engage us from both sides, while our Lothern Sea Guard have taken so much damage to those Spinning Loons. All we can do is hope to heal them up and reposition such that we can hopefully head off the newly arriving fast movers, Manglers, Squigs, Boar Boys, Arachnarok, etc., and prevent them from reaching our lines of Sea Guard. And of course, another set of Spinning Loons. Good lord, the Stormguard are down to 10-15% of their HP, and the Loons have even reached the units that have moved away. Still, we're holding on, though it's starting to get pretty desperate for the Lothern Sea Guard units. And since while we do have heals for single entities, we don't have resurrection of units available to us, so these guys will die if we're not careful. I'm just gonna have to move out further and set up those screens, though at this point our units of ship's companies are starting to take a beating as well. Company of the Calendarian and Deck Swabbers alike are down to the dregs of their HP and have obviously lost enough of their HP so that they have lost their martial prowess. But what can you do? Alright, just have to keep the enemy from closing for as long as we can. Bounce power has shifted in our favor now, a little bit. 55-45. Swapped out those balances of power. Of course, Aislinn is going to be just fine. He can do whatever he pleases. He's in fact completely unharmed, and he's got 11,000 HP regeneration. Ludicrous stats. Even if the enemy army were to overrun and wipe out our Sea Guard and whatnot, I just really don't see them defeating Aislinn. And look at all that, look at all those dead Arachnaroks lying about. Frankly, the enemy probably would have been better off just moving forward and attacking us directly with the pile of Arachnarok Flingers and regular Arachnaroks, just charging us. Though again, we did hide our units in the mist, so they couldn't quite see them until the rest of the units closed. Alright, Mathlann Zarad doing a good job together with the other units of Oceanids, just keeping all those Black Orcs back and thus away from our Lothern Sea Guard. It looks like more units are attempting to close. A Boar Boy unit and a Boar Chariot unit have managed to reach the Storm Guard again. We're down to 10% of their HP. The enemy really wants this particular unit dead. But we're not gonna let them. With that, it looks like the army losses have begun to tell. The enemy army begins to waver and have realized that they've no hope of winning, though the damage they have managed to dish out to our infantry was pretty severe. Our Oceanids, by the looks of it, are more or less fine, however, but yeah, very, very nice. I was really happy about that fight, and how they still had a few basic Y units ready to move on to the battlefield. Oh well. Anyway, we're gonna do our best to chase, otherwise we might have the enemies coming back for a bit. And we'll see if they do. Very nice fight for Aislinn, probably final fight as well, for him anyway. Alrighty, there you go. A glorious final fight for Aislinn, and you gotta admit, a pretty tough one. A well-earned heroic victory, severe damage to all of our sort of mainline units, especially, I'm gonna say, the Lothran Sea Guard. It's not quite as visible here, obviously, but as we saw, most of them were down to like 10% of their HP, as usual, and we know that Gobos are superior to orcs in every way. The Night Goblins, the Fanatics, once they reached the line of Lothran Sea Guard, did so much more damage than anything else, including the Arachnorocks or the Black Orcs, who had comparatively basically no kills at all. These guys, 10,000 damage on one unit of Fanatics. One set of spinning loons is more valuable than a dozen Arachnorok spiders and a bunch of Black Orcs as well. It's a little bit silly to the degree how much more useful they are to the enemy here, but I appreciate it. Anyway, very nice final fight for Aislinn, and I guess more likely than not, solid damage on Aislinn as well, especially damage out his gold value, considering he was going after single entities. But anyway, we will bid farewell to the company of the Calendarian, the Deck Swabbers, the Red Shirts, the Storm Riders, Sea Dragon Mariners, Sea Foam Spears, company of Telfin, Storm Guard, Wardens of the West. Oh, right, we moved the name to Lothran Skycutters to the other army. The Silak One Eye, obviously, Mathlann's Wrath, Defenders of Imladris, Fury of the Waves, and Ocean. Oh, I gave one of the other Oceans, one of the other armies, the name. Yeah, whatever. All good. But anyway, lovely work with. Looks like the Fury of the Waves doing pretty darn well compared to the other Oceanids. Funnily enough, the unnamed one slightly beat them out as well. And the Sea Dragon Mariners for the Sea Guard. Very nice. And the red shirts, funnily enough, for the ship's companies. Anyway, heal up. I don't imagine they'll attack again. Lovely. And Ivres is now a new power. Well, good for them. Defenders of the... I don't know if we need it or care about it. I don't know who it'll piss off. And it looks like these guys didn't bother to come out and play. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping that another army would come out. Spell resistance plus 30% for... Oh, Armor of Calidor. Could have used that earlier. Just out of curiosity, what's Aislinn's spell resistance at now?
A reasonable request.
55%. Pretty darn solid, so those Spirit Leeches from Azag wouldn't have done all that much. Argor Brain Basha. Yeah, we're going to mostly just sack our way through these territories. We don't care about them, and I don't feel the need to bother with the... how to resolve? With making them into outposts. So sack, let the humans just grab these territories for themselves. You go here, and loop back around. I mean, we could, in theory, fight that Dragonhop. I'm willing to bet that it wouldn't let us auto-resolve, but probably wouldn't be nearly as good of a fight as the fight against Azag himself, so, Alright, sack. And that'll recover your movement range, won't it? And then I guess you can sack Waldenhof. Yeah, we're probably going to be too damaged to take this place, but yeah, if we just took full advantage of what you can do with this, with Aislinn being able to just non-stop sack everything. Like, just take like a dozen... we can't do one anymore. Alright, fine, just retreat then. I'm not going to bother manually fighting this. You can just wait here for a turn until you're back effectively to full HP. You know what? Screw that. Switch to Right of the Sailor. Get that little bit of extra ward save for ship's company, because if the game is not letting him auto-resolve as much, then... Alrighty, so just go here, past Eshin, I guess. Like so. I don't think they'll attack us. I mean, after seeing what we did to Azag especially, it would be tremendously foolish. Anyway, Armandus, one more time. Whoa. Oh, for the love of... What are you doing? Alright, Armandus, get ready for a missed landing. And get ready for leveling as well. I believe you have your red line maxed out, unless I'm mistaken, so let's go hard to hit and Blade Master, or at least start upon them. Handmaiden. Gwendolyn, you have Hawkish Precision. I guess we'll get you Spearmaster into Foe Seeker. Grab Favor of Isha for the ward save. Shield of Avalorn, and it'll be a little bit until we can grab that Colossal Strike, but grab it when you can. Slanesh, you giggle. Mentor for the Mist Mage. Do you have a... Oh, you should have one of the... Books of Hoeth, there you go. Enjoy. And then the Lore Master has a Book of Hoeth. Huh, actually, I've been giving these guys seer staves more often than the Books of Hoeth, which I've been giving to Miss Mages and stuff. Oh, we got another Florette Robe, which we haven't given to anybody. Gems of Sunfire I generally find inferior to the Book of Hoeth, which is why, but anyway. The Flensing Heart, I mean, we can more or less max out your stuff. Get 2 points in this. Writhing Mist we can max out. I guess we can max all of these out like so. We got 1 point remaining, and everything is ours, so I guess we'll just go for Specialist. Alright. Noble, 1 turn or 1 level short of Mentor. Otherwise, max out Blade Master, Wound Maker, full plate armor, I guess. If you're gonna stay on the Eagle, then yes, it's valuable. The best whether you are remains to be seen. You're fine. Just get training so I don't have to look at it. Like so, there you go. Alright, Miss Landing. I mean... Okay, well, it'll depend. Anyway, go for Spite Backbiter. Post-victory casualties low, but this is probably the last fight of Armandus, so we're going to take the fight. Plus, I mean, there's some decent Ragnaroks and stuff in here, some artillery pieces. Why the heck not? This is our only army that also uses the traditional regular Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers as opposed to the Sky Cutters, which, again, I don't really see the point of regular Eagle Claws anymore when you can just build Sky Cutters, at least in campaign. Yes, the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers are a lot cheaper, so they'd still have a value in multiplayer to some degree, maybe, but generally speaking, they've always been kind of an artillery piece mainly used to make the enemy come to you. So, yeah, and with the Sky Cutter's ability to reposition and fire sort of parallel to enemy deployment lines and, you know, avoid shots and just be annoying in general. And as long as the enemy doesn't have too much of an air force, they're just going to be way spear. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to quick save this because the episode's obviously going to run long, as finales pretty much always do, and I don't want it to crash and then all the progress to be lost. Go.
For the king!
Alright, here we go. Armandus, the lord that we have on a griffin here, is ready to face off against a decently big pile of orcs. Now, it's critical that we try to do our best to destroy the enemy artillery, and so we are moving the Grey and the other units of Shadow Warriors to try to focus them down, led, of course, by the single handmaiden of the Everqueen, and Gwendolyn here. Now, we do have to be fairly careful about Gwendolyn because while the units of... good lord, okay, they're really targeting her. While the units of the Shadow Warriors have Stalk and Snipe on them, thanks to the sort of buffs, and we don't have Stalk and Snipe on Gwendolyn, and thus all the artillery will target her. If we keep her too close to the rest of our units, of course, some of the artillery will potentially hit our other units, which ain't so great. I'm gonna heal up Gwendolyn with a Ladriel Shroud, and it looks like the regular artillery pieces, at least, are pretty much done for, though the Ragnarok Slingers are very much still alive. It also looks like the enemy army is sufficiently annoyed to start booking it towards us and probably start identifying our piles of Shadow Warriors, so it's time to back off. A few more... oh, and see, this is Skirmish Mode. See how they start moving towards the enemy? Sometimes the Skirmish Mode breaks like that and it completely screws you over. So we're going to try to save these guys, but because Skirmish Mode broke, they, by the looks of it, are going to get charged by the infantry, or cavalry rather. Boar Boys and a Squig Herd are going to reach. I'm going to try to help them out. Ooh, they're going to get hit with Don't Even Try It as well, so a little bit of damage over time. I'm going to counteract that with the Bane Shield and a... something that gives them Strider. Walk Between Worlds. Physical resistance, Strider, Speed. It'll certainly help them out, and maybe even will block the enemy off with some Oceanas, but damn you, Skirmish Mode. Every single time I trust Skirmish Mode, I come to regret it. There was no one behind them. Why would you move forward like that? Bunch of idiots. Anyway. It happens sometimes. Looks like they are terrified and they're down to about half HP. We're going to try to keep them healed up. Fortunately, all 4 of our other Shadow Warriors are fine, and we are doing damage all of the while the enemy keeps moving towards us. We still haven't engaged them with our main stack, and the enemy are just about ready to move into range of our Eagle Claw bolt throwers. And the shield breaker that they will apply will probably help against at least a few of the enemy units here. Alright, it looks like we have managed to withdraw most of the Shadow Warriors that got caught here. And in the meantime, since the enemy has decided to move away, we will move Armandus and his noble himself to kill off this giant river troll hag. And just so that she stops casting those repeated spirit leeches, which are just so irritating. Alrighty, it looks like the river troll hag will fall. There we go, and we can stick around and probably deal with those boar boy biggins here. Alright. At last, our Eagle Claw bolt throwers have joined their fire to that of the Shadow Warriors. A Mathlann spite is going to come down on the Goblin Wolf Chariots, who will get torn to shreds. Mostly focused down because they're a ranged unit, and thus could hit us back. The Mistress of the Deeps, or whatever the spell is that summons the Oceanids. It is Mistress of the Deeps. Good job, Ruinous. Anyway, well, it's paid for itself here by blocking off a plenty of enemies while we continue laying down that withering fire. And it's best to use up most of the ammunition on these Shadow Warriors before the enemy makes it to our main line after all, and we're certainly doing that plenty well here. The enemy now also has a hill to climb as well, and we're going to do our best to make use of the rest of the ammunition to pincushion one of these Arachnaroks. In the light, just to be brought down here by the looks of it. Alright, with the Eagle Claws, of course, helping, the impact's probably a little bit more severe on the Howdah and on the spider than that of the tiny little arrows. Anyway, second Arachnarok spider will get hit by the Mathlann spite, bringing it down to a mere 26 movement speed when combined with the poison. That thing's not reaching us, though it is going to fling a few of those webs our way before it, too, is brought down. Beautiful. Alright, Giant's still moving our way, and of course the enemy Goblin Great Shaman, we do hit him with a Spirit Leech. And it looks like he's not going to be sticking around for too long, as the range fire, both now from the Lothern Sea Guard and the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers and the Shadow Warriors, and takes the Arachnarok Spider Shrine. Amounts of power has shifted to about 90% in our favor. Now the Giant remains, but it won't remain for longer, as in vanilla these guys do not have enough missile resistance, unlike SFO, to survive, to weather the storm, as it were. And the Giant will topple, likely crushing a few of the poor Silverin Guard beneath its bulk, but all good. I'm really gonna miss the color scheme. I absolutely love the color scheme of Aislinn's faction. Best one of the elves. Anyway, with that, the enemy army breaks and the battle is ours, and a pretty fun one at that. It took us 6 full minutes of drawing the enemy to our main army and whittling them down. Lovely. Alright, there we go. Another very, very nice fight with us sort of using the length of that particular sort of underway battle map to draw the enemy along and, well, just damage them severely with our Shadow Warriors. We do have Shadow Warriors here, but functionally it's a rather different army than the army of Mantressa, which also relies on Shadow Warriors, but because that's a combination with the Lyrian Reaver Archers and with the Frostheart Phoenixes to slow the enemies down, whereas this one doesn't have those. Yeah, we have to sort of go back to our main line of spears and shields and whatnot. Anyway, a rather nice fight, and we bid farewell to, I think this was one of the armies where we didn't have many names or any names. Yeah, alright, fair enough. Mostly the, oh, actually, I was about to say mostly the earlier armies have named units, and that's partly true with a couple of the later game armies having a couple of names as well. But anyway, Forced Labor, this army is done for, and I don't think it's going to be strong enough to be able to take Myrmidons either. Yeah, that looks like more than enough garrison-wise to take that out, even if we can't move. And Armandus, we have... Wait. Yeah, of course, this guy comes along when we have one turn to Granty Mingle. And we still gotta get there, but all good. At least I hope all good, we'll see. Anyway, who's next? Salandori. Regardless of the fact that you do not want to move or do anything, we will want to gain... yeah, I keep going for traders lodgings. I was gonna go for the relationship, but I'm interested in seeing those trading numbers go up, so why not? Just continue along those lines. You are gonna go to Frozen Landing there, Mr. Arathond. Oh, Astrogruel, you disappoint me. And for not selling out, I mean. And then give this to Avalorn. Like so. Bringing life to all the frozen territories of Norska. Yeah, we'll soon be in the Badlands again. Well, or at least we would be. Yo, go grab Krakadrak and give it to Avalorn as well. Like so, Exarian, and you were... one more turn? Alright, fine. I guess you could go out to sea and go to the Port of Secrets then. Although, I guess Mantressa would be doing that anyway. Where is Archie's stuff? Okay, auto-resolve this for obvious reasons, and give this to Ivres, establish outpost. Moondragon for Mantressa. Nope, Mantressa is good on the regular Barda de Thilmar steed, I think. Along with the piles of Philarian Reavers. Anyway, I guess you're gonna go to the edge of this territory, move to Crystal Spires. I don't think we need another army down here because we have sufficient armies already. So Exarian, yeah, fine, go out to sea. I guess you could land at the Tower of Torment, see what's going on over there. In theory. And, ooh, hello, if it isn't Bastion Nightbane. Oh, I was excited, but this is garbage. Yeah, it's kind of the problem with sort of the... This is probably an army that this guy's had since the very early portion of the campaign, or because of the fact that this is a pathetic weak faction that has, like, 2 territories, it might never have gotten stronger than that. It's not like one of the Empire factions that we've been dealing with. Anyway, Volksgrad. I guess we're auto-resolving this because there's nothing better and it's not for a third time. We will give this to... I guess also Avalorn. Alright. Like so, and then you are able to reach Yetchich, so that would prevent Arathon from needing to move over there, and he'll be freely able to go to Temple of Heimkel instead. Alright, auto-resolve. And for Avalor... Oh, one of our Phoenixes got severely damaged. It better not have been the named one. Nope, just the Flamespire Phoenix. Grand Beacon is the named one. Alright, fine. You can go, I guess, into channeling. Stay near Volksgrad. This place doesn't need defenses, but Volksgrad, it's... Yetchich... Nah, just put them both, whatever. Row deer, go here. More like row here, am I right? Anyway, I wonder if we should have introduced southward to Kislev. I don't care about it, but... maybe. Anyway, you are... Oh, you're also 1 turn away. Okay, so there's 2 of them that are near to tier 5, which, you know, fair enough. Saji's good, Artheus. You... I guess are gonna grab Iron Rock, then. Oh, these guys did claim a Badlands territory. Good for them, I guess. You guys, pushing northward again instead of being idiots? At least, being less idiots? Not really. And a knife. Wait, what the heck is that? That's a lot of warp grinders. Alright. And I guess we just keep giving this to Ivres, or we just keep raising it. I don't know, whatever. Establish outpost. Alright. I mean, they could still use Black Crag in theory. I don't know why I'm bothering to continue building these, but anyway. If you go into ambush stance, right here, I wonder if we can kill Knife. Just in case, though, build the defenses here. I really would prefer not to have to chase this guy down. And this is kind of why I didn't want to, you know, take too much territory here, like leaving this alone, because do we really want to potentially backtrack on the last episode, which is very close to being done as well? I don't think so. Imric, no, right, we can't. Not until the lizards. Fair enough.
Ready for action.
Bertulios. Pig Barter, free take, and I think these guys don't want to advance further. Maybe they should just keep fighting in the mountains. Well, if those guys didn't sally out, I don't think these guys will either. Just auto-resolve them. Much as I would have loved to have fought them. You can go to Ivres. Alrighty, and then you can go into encamp stance, although you are effectively at full healing anyway. I don't think you're going to get ambushed by rats, but you never know. Forces of Vorag had kind of the same issue. We're just going to auto-resolve it since the AI refuses to fight. And give it to Ivras. A final battle where the AI is too scared to fight us is not a battle that is worth our time and effort. You go here. Who knows? Rictus might show up and decide to attack us now that we're at half HP. It's a possibility. We shall see. Alright, who's next, if anybody? I already clicked him. Mark my bad. Inrian, I did not click you, however. You were hanging around Erengrad, but I think that there isn't too much of a need. Maybe we'll send you down to Kislev if these guys are going to continue refusing to do anything about it. Oh, you're also one turn away from upgrading your dragon ship. Fair enough. Alrighty, and then Feijin we've already moved, so that's everybody. We've got, like, what, 3 buildings to build? 1... Ah, there's 2 buildings in this place. Well, 2 for the price of 1, let's say. Pirates Current. Ooh. Oh, we've already got the Pick Street Pawn Shop and stuff. Get the wine orchards, complete the port, and I'm gonna go for the trade building. I mean, yeah, just go for the trade building. In theory, it's nice to have the dragon ship berth. We've been needing this magic item drop chance thing throughout the campaign since we didn't have enough, but nah. And that's it. Alright, good enough. Skip. And 192. Oh, it's fixed itself. Alright, let's just quickly do Daughters of the Forest. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not working again. Oh, there it goes, up to 744. And I might as well do the lizards again as well. Because it's either next turn or the turn after that we quickly take those last colonies and improve relations. There you go. Alright, there's a lot of intrigue at court, but they shouldn't be hating on us for taking the colony now. They still probably don't want a defensive alliance, but we'll deal, I think, I hope. We'll see. But we won't see this turn. We'll see possibly next turn. Let's see if anybody sallies out or attacks us or whatever, or if I have forgotten to move anybody. Hama and Steel Grinder, where you going? Lamatark Stormbreaker. There's a bunch of armies hanging around here. Again, if there was interest in this campaign, I probably would have gone for the full world conquest, but... Oh, Mazda Mundi. I mean, he's got a million blessed units, but... Mazda Mundi himself previously attacked us with 2 full stacks, one of which was a Rite of Primeval Glory, full giant lizard stack, and this is pathetic by comparison, so it's just not worth Salindor's time. If he hadn't fought lizards a million times before, I probably would have fought that, but he has, and there's no need. I'd love to non-aggress with you, Crocky, soon as we steal that territory back. Alrighty, and we are looking pretty good. Ancients... What is this? Aislinn! They want to attack you again, and is it not auto-resolvable? It is not. Wellity. It is Aislinn's campaign, and if anybody deserves to have more than one fight in the final episode, it's Aislinn. Quick save for crashy purposes, and go.
We hold domain over the sea. None shall thread it without our sanction.
Alrighty, here we go. I guess I was wrong that Azag would be our final battle for Aislinn's army, but you know what? Maybe I meant the faction, Azag's faction all along. Let's go with that. Anyway, here we go. He's gonna try again. This time we cannot use the Company of the Calendarian because they're so severely damaged that they just get wrecked. So we're just going to keep them back and rely on the rest of our units. Now, the enemy has a solid level 38 of a great orc shaman up in the sky, but, well, similar to Azag, I don't think this poor lord has a prayer. Rapidly losing half of his HP, well, or will be losing half of his HP with the next blow here. And armor destruction, he's going to pop Fists of Gork for fighting purposes. Oh, 8173 with that. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid, but nowhere near solid enough, let's say. Away he goes, and we'll try to chase him down. In fact, no try about it with one more hit, and oh, he might actually escape unless the significantly faster Eagle and Noble Manages to deliver one final blow just as he attempts to make it off the screen. Fantastic. We're going to drop Asur fires upon the first of the enemy artillery pieces, which will get torn to shreds while we summon a mereworm on top of the second, terrifying the enemy crew away. Aislinn himself will hover overhead in order to drop the Master of Mists ability on all of our Sea Guard, giving them 314 range, or buffing up their range significantly. And of course their damage, 94 missile strength. This is sort of like SFO levels damage, which is pretty insane on Sea Guard. Again, remember that stats are pretty ballooned in SFO, so seeing these kind of stats in vanilla is pretty darn nasty, considering the NAA, well, most of the enemy units just won't have the HP to survive it. Anyway, our Mereworm summoned and is now unsummoned, disappears. But that's alright. Aislinn has been working away on the Ragnarok Spider Flinger, or at least one of them, and by the looks of it, it's pretty much done for, attempting to escape with about 10% of its HP. The reinforcements have in the meantime arrived, and I assume that this is what the enemy was waiting for, and as such, we'll begin moving towards our main line. Similar to when we fought against Azag. What we do not want is those gobos to close the distance with those spinning loons of theirs. So I'm going to say I've at least partially learned my lesson here, and we're going to intercept any goblinoid-looking unit that attempts to move towards our main line of Sea Guard. Though it does look like the enemy is looking to get around our flanks as well, but that's why we have our 2 units of ship's companies. On same said flanks, we're going to send Mr. Select One Eye out all the way to the front to intercept these stone trolls and boar boys, which get torn to shreds rather quickly. And then keep covering overhead with the other single entities, i.e. our noble and our mist mages, in order to potentially also join the fight against any night goblins. The regular goblins, we don't really care about that. Alright, there we go. Looks like Aislinn has destroyed that Ragnarok Spider Flinger, or at least forced it to flee, and I believe... has he killed off the second lord? I don't know. And what I do know is that he moves to the second Spider Flinger, can't be allowing it to fire away at us now that the Wreathed by Mists, or whatever ability we were using, is gone. On the bright side, we are holding the enemy off quite well here. It looks like they have so far been unable to reach our main line, and thus no fanatics, no spinning loons to threaten our Sea Guard ranks. Alright. Ammunition's still looking pretty okay on the Sky Cutters, and by the looks of it, it's going to be more than enough in this particular battle to ensure our victory. The bounce power has shifted to about 75%, and closing in on 80 in our favor. And I do imagine that the army losses will soon begin to tell. Our Lothran Sky Cutters switch from single shot to multi-shot now, as the enemy has not enough single entities or monstrous infantry for us to target. Speaking of monstrous infantry, Aislinn has defeated the enemy spider and is now going after some units of trolls, and will probably chase down a few others. Ooh, does look like we have taken a little bit of damage on the deck swabbers, though they did start the battle with only 66 or so % of their HP. You could have just said 2/3. Come on, Ruinous. But all good. And with that, by the looks of it, the balance of power shifts to 90% in our favor. I see the leadership dropping in just a few more seconds as the army losses begin to tell. Will give the battle to us. Rather distributed battle, I should say, at least to some degree, so I didn't quite know where to look at all times, but all good. It wasn't quite as many units as when Azag attacked us, and certainly not quite as many night goblins, so we didn't have quite that trouble either. There we go, a couple more hits from Silak. As we bid this army farewell, I expect that this is indeed the final battle for Aislinn in the campaign. Call it a sort of Part 2 of the first battle against Azag. I'm willing to bet that this essentially breaks his faction and frees the Empire from the threat of the Greenskins. Gotta do it all for them instead of, them relying on them to do anything, just like our Elven allies, I suppose. Alright, there we go. Credit where it's due. Definitely good on the orcs for trying, and very good on the defenders of Imladris for a solid nearly 17k damage there. 24k on the company of Telfin. Very nice. And yeah, they just vastly outdamaged all of the other Lothern Seaguard by a huge amount, and I wonder why that is. And yeah, very nice. Anyway, forced labor and close victory this time. I guess we were damaged going into it. And underway interception of the Iron Clawworks. So the ones that Armandus had to go and deal with. That's cute. And now they're trying to get away the same way that they got in there, and it ain't working out so well for them. Throggy boy wants peace treaty, but it ain't happening. And Big Bellower the Sand Grinder. Where are you again? Oh, right, these guys. Yeah, decline. Alright. Looking good. Now, such is the nature of war. Wins the magic capacity plus... Oh! Spent multiple turns in channeling stance gives us more... I didn't know this was a thing. That's shocking. I'm shocked that I never knew it was a thing, I mean, but, it's quite interesting as well. I got to try to remember that for other future campaigns. Hey, there's that Rite of the Sailor. And... anything here we care about? Numbers go up. Go for the Lothern Letters of Mark.
These advances will be useful.
Lothern Letters of Mark gives us relations with High Elves. I thought it was everybody, but that doesn't mean anything. Alrighty, anyway. Armandus, are you able to reach Granty Mingle in one go? That's the big question here. Fully depends on whether you can. I'm gonna hope that you can here. Oh, did he just slightly land and then did not? Yeah, it looks like he can. Alright, so, real quick, we have to do a thing in order to make this make sense. Well, I guess... maybe I shouldn't have given these guys Iron Rock, whatever, it's all good. In order to do this, we have to peace out with... Skarsnik's right here, too. Nah, but I'm sure they'll kill him. Oh! Oh, that I wasn't expecting. This was kind of predicated on being able to peace out with these guys because we have to join a war. We can't directly declare war because these guys have a big ally. Huh. Okay, wait, is there a... How much money would you want for the peace? I don't even want it. They want 34k. Well, that'll empower them slightly, but it's not like we're not obliterating them anyway. I guess it doesn't matter over much. Also, Artheus, go and kill Knife, who's probably gonna run here. This is probably too silly of an army to fight. Yeah, they're gonna run. And, I wonder if you can now cross the... Yeah, there's no way. Wow, look at all the distance you've covered in order to run away. That's rats for you. Makes sense to me. Go back into ambush stance and start moving this way, although I think being near an allied settlement screws the ambush stance over anyway. And now, just to double check, there's nowhere we can attack these guys now. Alright, so, peace out with them. I like so. Briefly. Alright, then... Minus 20 favor of the... Oh, shut up, Vinabar. You are going to... Oh, I could have done the piece for joining the... okay, well, whatever, without paying them. Oh, I'm dumb, but whatever. Declare war directly. Works now, okay, just to double check. Then, we will join the war against the last defenders, like so. And we will take back some of your money. Like so. Alright, then... And so, yeah, shut up. Rude. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Then we quickly... Oh, they have a full stack there, cute. Quickly go to Granty Mengol. Is this worthy of a fight? It's a lot of ancient salamanders. Honestly, I mean, it's low casualties. It feels like it's almost an identical fight. Obviously, it's against the lizards, but an identical fight to the fight that we fought against the orcs there, who had a ton of Ragnarok spider flingers. Same sort of deal with the single entity splash damage units. And fight the exact same fight. I think I'm not going to bother. Auto-resolve. Then we will establish this place as a colony. There we go. And it is an ancient colony, so that means... As soon as this... Oh, we have to wait until the structure is built? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. In order to get the colony plus... What? Wait. Oh. Huh. Wait, this thing won't let us recover a colony slot then, will it? When built in a colony. I guess we could have... Do we then want to abandon it and give it to Yvresse and then build it here? I guess we don't have to own it. It is a minor settlement after all. Because we do have the same thing going here, right? Elven colony +1. Alright, fine. Since it's a minor settlement, we will then leave it. We will immediately abandon it. My bad. Which should, in theory, give us back our thing, right? Better. I didn't realize that the minor colonies did that. Okay, that's a little annoying. Then we immediately peace out with these guys for 28. And we immediately go back into defensive alliance and military access. We won't ask for money. There you go. Isn't that easy? Like so. And then in theory, we would need to do the same thing with the other faction. Oh, and he'll be willing to trade as well. Beautiful. More money. Talakwa didn't really like that, but it was a half-second war, so... Alright, that's one that we sort of have. We'll just re-up it next turn. Ugh. To my great annoyance. And then I guess Arnheim we should be able to take, and it will give us back the slot. Yeah, okay, I really screwed up in not waiting on either Erengrad or Karazakarak for one turn, because that would have fixed the situation. Not that it's a big deal, mind you. But everybody's still hanging around Erengrad, which is annoying. But anyway, alright. Well, we got a couple more turns to go through. Not that many, though. We actually need to do the same thing here before these guys take the ancient city of Quintex, so you can just sit there. Erathond. Any armies nearby? Wellity. What do we have here?
No temptation.
There's some good armies. Bastion Nightbane.
An affront to the Dark Prince.
Erathon, you'd be able to reach these guys and fight them. I would like to know what was in those armies. Here's the minor problem with this. We wouldn't be able to move to reinforce unless we use you, and then we'd have to ignore these two armies, which is something of an irritant. But it is what it is. Anyway, first of all, Mantressa, go here. I would like to also see what's going on over there. Let's auto-resolve this real quick and establish an Ebress and outpost. Of course, we now get another Armor of Galador. And then you go out here, keep channeling. I'd like for you to pick up that channeling trait, if at all possible. Alright. Okay, we'll deal with you in a second. Erathond, you're fine as you are. Well, you're not fine as you are. I would like Saji then to proceed to Plesk, because it is, well, I guess he can reach the other places as well. Yeah, we'll take Navkazi and Plesk. Wait, actually, Rodir, can you also reach them both? You can, so go for Plesk and then Saji go for Navkazi. Like so. Where's that Astrogoth? Might not be able to encounter him. It's a distinct possibility. Establish outpost Avalorn. Establish. And then go into encamp stance. Start moving this way, but also build up your tier 5 ship. Alright, hey, another forest cloak. I've been waiting for a second one of those. Alright, good. You, Navkazi, auto-resolve, do the exact same thing and set it up for Avalorn. Like so. It looks like the Empire is safe for another day. Saji, I guess you can start moving that way. Alright, Erathon, you're gonna move in a bit. Let's see about everybody else. There were other armies that needed to build up their ships, right? It wasn't yours. You're in ambush. Oh, I'm sure we'll find them again. Hexarian, oh, you were one of them, but you're kind of in a situation right now, so just wait. You, Feratulios. I would like you to leave the Implaginated areas. Go this way through... Oh, we won't be able to heal here. Okay, so just risk being in the Implaginated areas. Oh, these guys immediately build up an army here. Isn't that cute? I'm gonna get anything out of that? I doubt it, but, you know. You, to the Ashridge Mountains. Let's see if there's a full stack there. And what do we get? We got nothing. Alright, I'll resolve. And establish outpost for Evress. Keep looking. Hey, accursed armor, plus 200 armor. That's always nice. Oh, I was really hoping for that in Dekala's campaign. Ambusher discovered quick head taker. Oh! I did not... Huh. What? We moved right by him, and that's not good. He may attempt to attack us here, and we are pretty severely beat up. And he's got a very solid stack. Alright, Phaeton, I guess we're leveling you. Solid likelihood that he attacks you. What do we want to get? Your casting capabilities are pretty solid. I'm inclined to either level up these Sky Cutters or the Lions. Yeah, let's go for Vanguard Master. It'll go for Lions and Sky Cutters and just basically all chariot style units. Then the Noble. I mean, you're still not going to be strong enough on the Eagle to fight Queek, but you might be able to help the Zotes hold him off, so let's do that. Alright. Exciting times, assuming he attempts to actually take advantage of this. You've already sacked Eshin, right? No, you haven't. Didn't let us. All the garrisons are recovering, and apparently the Empire are not taking advantage of this at all. Really? You let the dwarfs take advantage of this? The dwarfs? Yeah. Maybe we just give this to the other Elven. Anyway, let's proceed to Drakenhof and see about auto-resolving that sack. It looks okay. I mean, look, Aislinn's had the final fights of his campaign. I just don't care enough to deal with all of this. Are you able to proceed to Zufbar? You are, though I'm willing to bet that you won't be able to auto-resolve it. Let's find out. Yeah, it'll kill the Company of Calendarian again, or the Calendarian. Alright, just encamp for a turn, back off slightly, and heal to full. And then you'll be good. There you go. Alright, that's Aislinn. Arathond, you're waiting. Imric is waiting. Exarian is waiting. Inrian is going to Kislev, I believe. So yeah, let's proceed there, and I believe you're one of the other ones that can build a ship. Oh. Actually, I think you would have been able to do so last turn. Alrighty, so let's build that up. I was tempted to build the next level of the sail as well, but we may as well just go all the way. Slanesh Giggle to the final level of the ship. Techs are fine, everything else is fine. So, next. Arathond. You are going to grab Trident Master, I have to say Tyrant Mastery. Blade Shield into Woundmaker into Quicksilver Strike. Heart of the Flame is not needed for your particular army. I really wish that you could found a Brass Cleaver at least once in this particular campaign, but it looks like no dice. Full plate armor, could really use that on the Eagle. And your items are as good as they're going to get. Yeah, we never found the magical damaging... whatchamacallit, a Lichbone Pennant, and we never found the Brass Cleaver. But what can you do? Oh, actually I just realized, you know who we can get the Accursed Armor on? Maybe Exarian here? Although I don't dislike the Bane Shield. He's mostly on the Skycutter in this army to support the other units, so this would make him a big fat tank on that Skycutter, even if it slows him down. The idea does kind of amuse me. This doesn't say that this is a chaos item. A dissonant cry for battle emanates from this war gear. I mean, a dissonant cry for battle also emanates from the Widowmaker, so yeah. Alright, 301 armor. You're not going to do any damage, but you're here to lend your tankiness to all of this. Anyway, Arathond, this is what we're looking to do. First of all, let's level up Mr. Noble here. Mentor, Blade Shield, Woundmaker, Colossal Strike, Max out Woundmaker, Blade Shield, and Hard to Hit. We'll grab Valor of the Ages, which includes Chaos and its abilities, and then we'll buff your plate armor, because again, you're going to need it on the Eagle. Warrior Bane and Feather Foe Torque. Did we ever find a Pigeon Plucker pendant? I've been getting a few items recently, and maybe we got it. Okay, let's fuse that. Anything useful? Scroll of Aramar? Not really. Potion of Foolhardiness. I don't really care for the Ruby Ring of Ruin either. Fuse into Book of the Phoenix, which is useful, but not for you. Fuse. And a channeling staff. Good. Because we can fuse that with the Scroll of Aramar and get a Book of Hoeth. Because that's what... Oh, Gem of Sunfire. The one that I didn't want. Okay, well, screw you too. Scroll of Power and Wand of Jet. Into a Trickster Shard, which... actually might in theory come in handy. Incur Psychon, Spell Shield, Spell Shield. We didn't get a Pigeon Plucker pendant, did we? Distinguished Phoenix Pinion. I think we might have had one in the early game and then I might have deleted it. Maybe. Oh, it is what it is. You can't always have nice things. And a Kane's Ring of Fury, which isn't too bad. Oh, you know what? I kind of like the idea of putting a Kane's Ring of Fury maybe in this army. We We could just say that the, you know, the Gem of Sunfire, we could just say that the Fiery Convocation is an eagle. That's what I did the first time I had this armor, but then we'd have to lose the Featherfoot to work on you, which I kind of don't like. Anyway, let's level you up, sir. And you already have all the important stuff, so we're just free to get you whatever. Everything else that you don't have. Specialist, I didn't miss any points, did I? I think I did. Block army, wound, and boost income, who cares? Alright, looks good to me. Now let's see what we're looking at here.
Sound judgment.
Is this a... Nah, I was hoping it was a Mysterious Island, but alas it was not. You we're gonna march on in. Let's see what we're looking at here. 2 Chaos Armies. March stance, and it's a big old pile of basic Marauders. Do we bother fighting them? I mean, it's probably Arathon's last army. These get level 4 compared to Hazag's level 46. But yeah, the problem with Archeon is he's kind of out of the way. If he doesn't break through Kislev and starts ravaging the Empire, then there's not really a lot of opportunities for him to level up, you know? It's either he fights Malice, but if he allies with Malice, then he does nothing, because Kislev is the only way through. And, well, in this particular situation, I guess the Orcs and Throg took that out, and he wasn't willing to fight either, so his armies got kind of screwed. Honestly, this is so mad. I don't think it's worth fighting.
Strike at the heart. Wash your sins.
It's just a pile of Marauders. What about Kagan? Same kind of situation, some slightly better Marauders, but Marauders nonetheless. This is slightly better, but actually... fair bit better. Monstrous Infantry Aspiring Champions and the Severed Claw with them are a pretty considerable bit of strength. I do wonder, alright, Xarian, I'd rather not have you land by yourself here, so let's keep you two together for the turn. And then we'll see if these guys want to attack us with 4 armies at the same time. That might be neat. 2.5 versus, or 1.5 versus 4. I would certainly like if the enemy were willing. Also, Xarian, you are going to be able to build your tier 5 dragon ship as well, so may as well take the time. Alright, we'll see if the enemy moves towards you. Also, Xarian, how's your levelage? That's a word. We don't have ammo in this army, but we also want stand your ground. Oh, we need all 4 points. Frickin' okay, there you go. 4 points. Irritating though that may be. Or wasteful, perhaps, would be the more accurate. Anyway, we'll do that. We'll level these guys up because I feel they need a notch of man's affairs. I believe we were going for sense of duty on these guys because of the additional hold the line buffs for our spears. Frankly, I've been doing that everywhere, though I still... Honestly, any one of these choices is perfectly serviceable, so... Not one to be particularly concerned about. And I didn't do Knowledge of Man's Affairs, but I forgot about it while yammering on. Anyway, Mage of Metal, you are absolutely critical in this army. You have the Book of Hoth and the Gilded Horn of Galan Canuck, rather. But I don't think you need any of this. Let us... let's say grab Final Transmutation. We do periodically use Plague of Rust. We do periodically use all of these spells. Let's do this. Alright. Alright, there you go. You guys are good. Anybody else need to move before we end the turn? Emmerich is fine. Belaka is fine. We abandon the thing in this turn, right? Yeah. Alright. Ugh, still annoyed about that. What can you do? Alright, final building here. Not the final building here, but 1 turn away from the final building there. Hey, Grant up to tier 5, and that's all we got. So skip. Commandment. And, oh, Granty Mingle, not skip. Not skip at all. Hopefully these guys don't immediately realize that they can have this and then do something about it. Yeah, well, no commandment, no outpost, and the turn. Well, let's see if there's anything interesting. Let's see if those forces of chaos are willing to fight 2 or 1.5 versus 4. And hello, Arbal the Undefeated. Honestly, he doesn't look that undefeated to me. He's got like 1/3 of a stack. I mean, yeah, we are kind of working with the dregs of the enemy here. Oh, wow, this episode has certainly gone on. But I have a tendency to do that with finales. I do readily admit. Alrighty, escape. Join war against... No. Because we just pieced out and it would cripple our diplomatic relations with them. I mean, it would. Alright, and it looks like, the Warriors of Chaos wussed out. Typical. Alright, actually nobody's near enough to occupy this immediately. Wait, that is to our advantage. Two reasons. Alright, so Ambusher discovered Treacher Craven. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, Invocation of Vol, Invocation of Asurian. I feel like we... You know what? I'm going to... One moment. 2 more turns. I'm going to pop the Invocation of Mathlann. We've never used it. I want the campaign to end with the Invocation of Mathlann having been used at least once. It's never been needed. It just buffs our units and makes them stronger. Probably could have popped it off for the fight against Azag. Just for fun. Rising Tide, why not? The tide's been rising through the entire campaign. Oh, this guy would be able to land a Grunty Mingle, wouldn't he? Alright, so you are going to establish outpost for Evress right here. Then you are immediately going to upgrade the 4 turns. I gotta be kidding me. I like the +4 armor. And the Elven Colony +1 would be nice as well, but anyway, Seahelm's Quarters and then this. And I guess Armandus, you're kind of stuck here. Alright, so just sit here. Alrighty, then we are down to 8 out of 9. Then we peace out with the Lizardmen. They're actually starting to like us decently well. I'm not going to do any kind of agreements, and I can keep your money, whatever. Like so. Then we need to move you here. Imric, I'd like you to land. I'm going to assume this guy's going to run away, but if he doesn't, I'll let you fight, but if he does it, I will not. That made sense. No, I also forgot to keep checking the fire mages, and Genius and Limber, well, it wasn't the ones that I wanted anyway, so whatever. Anyway, we need to do 2 quick things. Vol's Anvil and Arnheim we want for ourselves, but Arnheim probably won't immediately re-up the colony thing. Well, either way. Now, we are going to talk to... Oh! Didn't actually need to peace out with the lizards. I forgot that we could have just done that with the Ironclaw works. Also, how's our... Yeah, this is recovered anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll ask Mazda Mundi to join war against Daughters of the Forest for probably 2 turns. Go like this. And I assume that... Nah, okay, we're fine to do that with the lizards. Okay, and our relationship is... Our reliability is still very high, despite betraying allies and doing this. That's Elves for you. Intrigue at court and whatnot. Imric, you've honestly not leveled all that much. I don't think that the game is actually going to let you fight here, though. So, are these Silverhelms? No, those are Lyrian Reavers. Silverhelms are a movable force, meaning we don't need to do anything but Cavalry Master for them. Might as well buff them up slightly. Imric's already so strong, just his baseline is so strong that his levels really don't matter that much. You two are both on a horse. Good. Attack Sorka Gospodar, if I could click you correctly. And they will fight. Oh, beautiful. Alright, that means a final battle for Imric as well. Pyrrhic victory. These guys are reasonably high level with their garrisons, so that's nice. And they can Oblast Outriders, summons unit of Horse Archer. Okay, that's not a problem. Quick save. Again, the episode's so long, I'm gonna fear a crash, and let's do it.
To battle!
Alrighty, here we go. I'm so glad that we will get a final fight for Imric as well. Gotta love those, dragons and dragon princes. Silly though this army may be, especially in vanilla. Well, actually, it's actually probably less silly in vanilla because while the dragon princes are extremely strong, you can't quite buff them to the same degree in vanilla as you can in SFO, so they remain fairly fragile. Anyway, the enemy lord outside the settlement, having been so helpful, is now going to have the honor of being devoured by Mathlann the Star Dragon. And looks like he will desperately attempt to summon some units of Kossovite horse archers, or just horse archers. But they will, of course, get immediately surrounded by and run down by our Silverhelms. who again also look fantastic in our killer scheme. Alright, the enemy lord, a mere level 3, although Imric isn't super high level at level 25, only halfway there. But the enemy lord will fall rather quickly. Frankly, it's kind of hard to see it in there, but suffice it to say that he's going to get killed in a few seconds. There he go, and in fact, Imric gets bored and leaves the forest dragon to deal with it. We're going to give the enemy a few seconds to make their way forward before we start charging. There we go. Imric once again moves to lead, and all of the dragon princes will come down. We will prepare their way, herald their arrival by setting the waters themselves ablaze as the cavalry charges all of those Khazars. Absolutely magnificent, and riding through the flames with those burning lances as well. Magnificent. And that's exactly what I wanted to see. And ironically, the enemy has a few good, really good units here, including a unit of Phoenix Guard borrowed from one of the other elf allies. Alright, well, the Phoenix Guard will probably be able to fight well, if not defeat a unit of Dragon Princes if they don't cycle charge, and we're not going to bother doing that. Obviously, we have also moved in the Silver Helms, who have closed the distance over on the left and right flanks, smashing into the enemy's sides and closing the trap around the enemy army. The Mount's power has shifted to about 70% in our... that's probably a lie. 80%, 85% in our favor. The enemy lord has fallen, and it's only a matter of time until the rest of the poor Kislevites randomly and suddenly get killed by the pile of elves here. Again, they really shouldn't have been holding on to that elven colony. Should have just ceded the territory to Aislinn. Anyway, the Phoenix Guard, of course, is still holding the last elements of the Kislevite army that are still fighting, or were still fighting, is of course an element of elves. And it looks like, yeah, they are in fact the last unit, despite the fact that, no, actually, it was a Kislevite warrior unit that was the last unit. Well, good job to them. Well, they do have By Our Blood, so they have the 30 seconds of invulnerability, right? 25 seconds of them. Is it 30 seconds in SFO, or did I misremember? I suppose it doesn't matter. Anyway, with that, the Kislevite army was destroyed. It was a nice garrison of all rank 7, I want to say, units, and giant piles of Khazars, but of course they were never going to survive this particular fight. Oh, that was an absolutely magnificent charge by the Fireborn into the fire and the water there, which is pretty descriptive of this particular campaign. Alright, there we go. Imric does not need that mage support. He does it just fine without it. Massive amounts of kills on, obviously, all of the various Dragon Princes and the Silver Helms, who are a little bit better at running enemies down, and their charge is pretty darn solid as well. 12,000 damage of the height of the Silver Helms, 16k on the Dragonborn. Fireborn, damn it, every time. And yeah, very nice, very nice. So the Silver Helms are certainly keeping pace. Anyway, very nice work for Imric. And nice to have at least one fight against Kislev, considering they're a faction we wouldn't otherwise be fighting a lot, would we? This one we will take for ourselves as a colony. Like so, out of resolve. 6 lost. Idiots. Anyway, and establish colony, which brings it down to 0, but in theory next turn it should go back up to 1, because we captured a colony with the Elven colony +1, wherein we will use that to take Hag Hall, or no, not Hag Hall, Vol's Anvil. Honestly, if you die, you die. Actually, I don't want you declaring war on these guys. They shouldn't, in theory, do so, I think. I guess we'll see next turn. I would have preferred to be able to take Vol's Anvil in the same turn, but I don't know whether we can actually build this landmark in an outpost. Actually, I probably should have found out with like a lesser landmark somewhere, of whether we can build those in the same way that we can do this. Or whether these are... because it says Elven Colony landmark. I don't know if it's unique to Imric. Yeah, I probably could have tested that, but anyway. Maybe I will go back to something and then test it out later. Anyway, Kagan's still around, but his army is kind of meh. I guess we could have one of them fight him, but it's mostly marauders and stuff with one aspiring champion, and the other ones just simply ran away like a bunch of pathetic cowards. Have anything interesting in here? Probably not. They're all suffering attrition through desertion. And Arbol is... I don't know what happened to Arbol. What actually happened to you? You're at war with nobody. Well, I guess you just don't have enough territory, too many armies, something. Something happened to Arbol. Whatever it was. I don't think it's gonna be fixed anytime soon. I'll resolve this in Rian and then establish outpost for Valorn in Kislev. Alright. And I guess you can channel and head down to Vitev, although we weren't looking to capture any more territory here or really anywhere here. Aislinn, you could just keep sacking territories if you really wanted to. And I'm not 100% sure that you do, just for fun. Sack. And I guess you can probably also sack Oakenhammer. And hey, look at that, they've started to actually capture territories now, so we're helping. We're helping these idiots, and deal with the orcs. Although we are lowering the defensive capabilities of all of the Orky settlements, I will readily admit, by virtue of constantly sacking them in this manner. So, I mean, you know, AI, you gotta capture these territories quicker or they'll all be down to 0, or tier 0. Resolve, and I think that's the only one we can do because the company of the Calendarian will get damaged. There you go, Ace. And I mean, you had your final fight and a second fight as well, so, you know. Alright, go up here to Ashen and Waldenhof, and maybe we'll help those guys out. Plus, the other reason to keep moving Aislinn and getting XP is because he's transferring all his XP constantly, right? Anyway, I'm just looking to see if there's anybody worthy of a final fight. Where the heck did that decent stack of these guys go? Did they land and run away? They obviously can't go into ambush stance at sea. I see this guy here, but that's it. Weird. Tremendously weird. They're not over here, are they? No, just Kagan by himself. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to fight another fight or find another... What the heck is this? Oh, hello. Whoa. Saja, can you reach this guy? No, you're just out of range? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, that's a fight I want to fight. That's a very solid stack. We got lots of Fire Glaives, Infernal Guard, we got a Dreadquake, Iron Demon, plus all the bound abilities these guys have from their techs. I assume he's going to try to go after these guys, but, you know, maybe we'll catch him. Alright, we gotta do at least one more turn just because of this. Alright, you in the meantime, Rodir, can go up here. And I don't know if there's anybody else that we really need to move at this point. Arthas, I mean, you're kind of still Knife, where are you going? He can't take Karazakarek. You could try, I guess we could just chase him down. Give it a try. Not like we're in a hurry anywhere. Mantressa, why'd you start suffering attrition? Oh, did I accidentally move you into... No. Chaos Corruption. Oh, if it isn't Archie. Whoa. Mantressa, go into ambush stance. From where would Archie go? Probably to Port of Secrets, eh? So go right here. See if you can't ambush him. That might be nice. It also might be nice if you didn't suffer attrition, but I would like to keep an eye on this. And Mantressa has in the meantime leveled up a little bit more as well. That's nice as well. Anything here would help with any unit in this army. Shadow Warriors and Illyrian Reavers. I don't think either of those units are buffed by anything here. Dedication to Isha doesn't help, yeah, nothing. Nothing here helps. So is there any generic kind of buff that would potentially do a little bit of help? We could go with Surian for the little bit of extra speed. I'm still surprised that Asurian does nothing for Phoenixes. Screw Phoenixes, apparently. This gives us a little bit of physical resistance and casualty replenishment rate. Armor-piercing weapon damage doesn't really matter for Mantressa. Income from ports faction-wide, just to see the numbers go up. Or campaign movement range and a little bit of charge bonus. I'll say your armor could use a little bit of help, so we could give you dedication to Vol. Oh, this could give you... Wait, don't you already have Vanguard deployment? You do, via your Trickster's Pendant. Though it also gives you style. I was gonna say we could remove this for another item like a Book of Choeth by grabbing the Vanguard deployment from Dedication to Ruinous. Maybe that's worth our time. We do lose the spell intensity and the stock though, which is kind of nice as well. Honestly, I don't care about those. Let's just do our thing, Purple Sun Greater Conduit. There you go. Probably could have buffed the Phoenixes, but they don't really need the buffs. For all that, you can go replenish troops. You already got the important thing, Hawkish Precision, but are free to go for replenish troops as well. Grab these in case we do some fighting, like so. And then Lore Master. Spell resistance for the army is nice. We don't have Swords Masters. I'm gonna say spell resistance for the army. Plus the Winds of Magic cooldown cost is nice. Actually, in this particular... Oh, you have to use the Trickster's Pendant for Vanguard deployment as well. Yeah. I was going to say maybe not, but anyway, life leeching and metal shifting, and then max out. Let's get 1 point in harmonic convergence. All right, let's see if anything useful happens there. So Montressa sit there for the turn. Vertulios, what about you guys down here? I see Trutch Craven Tail with very nice army. Yes. The question is, will he fight? Will he stay or will he go? Quick Head Taker's sticking around as well, though. How he must have sacked Fortress of Vorag, despite the fact that we have defenses. He didn't destroy it, however, which means that we are still pretty okay here. Not that we care about any of these territories; they were only gotten for fun. Mentor. Darken the Skies. We don't need Heart of Flame in this army. I assume it doesn't buff Mereworms. Nah, it only fiery units. You buff Tyrannok Chariot, Silver Torrent. So we will want Silver Torrent. Cavalry Master does nothing for us. Militia Master does nothing for us. Sky Master does nothing for us. So... a moment. Both of the Chariot types and the Mereworm are buffed by this. Yeah, alright. I guess we're good then. Yeah, fair enough. The other point in Quartermaster, and then get Speed of Asurian, just because. Alright, let's get you then. The Nobles, Hard to Hit, Blade Master, Foe Seeker, and Blade Shield, as always, and as per usual, Colossal Strike for you. Gonna need it against those big boys. And then lastly, the High Mage. Soon to the White Tower, most definitely. What do you have? You have a Scroll of Stone. It's okay in this particular army. We can get a couple of points in Soul Quench and Hand of Glory just to have the ability to overcast them. Let's... oh. Whatever. You have to, whoa, there's two army... oh, ooh, I don't know if you can win this. This kind of has the same situation, the same problem that we had against the... Kugath, and that was two armies. It's because we'll run out of ammunition before we can kill all the monsters, and we can't, and single entities like the Doom Wheels as well, and we can't deal with those quite as well with just the Mereworm, so we might have to withdraw similarly to that. Still, I think it'll be a very good fight, and thus we can fight, see how much damage we do, and back off as needed. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if we can... well, okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I don't know if we can pull this off. We'll have to see how much damage we can do before the battle really starts and make the decision as to whether we withdraw. If we count Lords and Heroes, Trutch's own army has 9 single entities with tons and tons of Doom Wheels and Helped Abominations, and the Reinforcement army has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, and the Lord, I believe, the Grey Seer, is on a Screaming Bell as well, which I think has a ton of missile resistance, like 50% or something silly. So, yeah, alright. It's a lot of single entities. Let's see how we can do against them. Now, there is an enemy unit of rattling guns. We do have to be careful about them, as they will be very dangerous to our relatively, well, maybe not so much slow as just big old target of a of a dragon here. I was going to get that Star Dragon Breath, but unfortunately it will mostly miss the Storm Vermin. Bit of a waste. Probably should have waited, but all good. Anyway, doesn't, however, look like the enemy army has a caster with Howling Warp Gale, as they were unable to stop our range units, or our flyers rather, which are range units, in their tracks. So we will continue backing off and laying down the withering fire from both the Tyrannoc chariots and the Eagle Claw bolt thrower catapults. It looks like a Doom Wheel will suffer their ministrations, but not for too long, as it does get destroyed. Or at the very least get so severely damaged that it will book it on out of there with a 69 HP. Nice. Alright, and no, it will indeed get destroyed, and we switch to the second Doom Wheel. And so far, we've only been focusing the Doom Wheels. Why the Doom Wheels instead of the Hell Pits? Because they have less HP, because they don't have regeneration, and because they're more fragile, and because they can actually fire back at the flyers. And are considerably more dangerous to chariots as well, in fact, because they can chase them down and fire away at them. Alright, fortunately another Doom Wheel pretty much bites the dust, so the enemy does start firing back at us with a unit, unit of Rattling guns. And looks like they'll take aim at Fertulios, and the enemy reinforcements have arrived and are closing the distance rather quickly. We will continue backing off for as long as we can to get as much value as we can out of our range units, and towards the pile of sea worms. Mereworms, rather. There we go. Oh, I love that animation. Alright, well, this poor little pile of Skaven slaves, of course, or clan rats rather, of course, is sent ahead of the rest of the army into this. And sees them get terrified and obliterated rather quickly. While we continue, looking like we missed every single shot on that particular Doom Wheel. Alright, stop missing, you have limited ammunition, we need you to use every single bit, every single bolt, I should have said, effectively. Anyway, Rattling guns firing into the flanks of one of the Mereworms. Quernac rapidly loses HP, down by about 30%. We got a kill off those Rattling guns, and frankly I should have done so pretty much immediately. Very threatening unit as they are. Alright, Pertulios will move in to help with that a little bit as we reposition some of our chariots. Drop a stone fall? Scroll of Stone, whatever, upon some of the enemy units, and there's that Dragon Breath, though frankly enough, the loose formation of those Rattling guns meant that they more or less survived it without too much damage. Another Doom Wheel moving towards us, and Pertulios will come down to damage Tretch a little bit. No, I don't imagine this Doom Wheel will achieve too much. Wow, you're shaken, you have 82 HP remaining. Ain't no way this particular Skaven would have been still in combat. That Skaven would have been gone. But anyway, looks like we got the big boys facing off against the big boys. One Hell Pit Abomination to each of the Mereworms here, and another Hell Pit Abomination for this one, which is kind of neat. We would try to be helping out against them with the Sky Cutters, but again, they're rather busy here. Still got Doom Wheels to kill. Our chariots have now started to move as well. We were just waiting for the enemy single entities to close the distance, as this is going to be the chariots' game. Alright, Arcane on Fiery Convocation gonna come down and do a fair bit of damage to the enemy, in fact, just out of curiosity. Nashir here, 185 kills and 21,000 damage. Pretty solid. At this point, I've decided to commit. We should have withdrawn maybe a couple minutes ago before the enemy was able to close the distance and start dishing out significant damage to the Mereworms. But I decided that, well, I feel like we can do this, A, and B, this time, this is the last episode, so casualties don't matter. Our army, if an army gets destroyed, it doesn't matter. I'm much more willing to risk the entire force getting severely destroyed, severely damaged or outright destroyed in an attempt to win this, rather than when we withdrew against Kugath in order to fight him twice. which worked out very well, mind you, but we had to keep going and take the Dragon Isles and then move up here. Here, we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, our Thilmar chariots and Terranok chariots, or at least some of them, peel away to go after those Warp Lightnings, which are a major threat to the Mereworms. Can't have them firing. Now, speaking of the Mereworms, one of them has been broken and will rally, but is severely damaged, and we are trying to keep all of the rest of them together so that they can sort of help each other out and fight. And yeah, we try to do some damage to that Grey Seer of Plague, but with the 50% missile resistance and 15% physical, he does not take a lot of damage from those bolts, and frankly, they're probably better used on the bigger targets of the Kelpid Abominations. Alright, Rattling Guns draw bead upon Ferrutulios and do severe damage to her as she drops down to a mere 1000 HP, 10%, just a sliver. Oh, this is going to be close. We're going to immediately, emergently move our Noble in to touch down upon the Rattling Guns, and this is a second unit that has arrived in as one of the reinforcements. Well, I did say this would be risky, so Ferrutulios is out, but keep in mind that all of our units of chariots are more or less completely fine. Our single entities are severely damaged, including both of our units of nobles. And I believe one Mereworm was at this point forced to withdraw off the battlefield, though 3 are still on the field. Nashir, our mage, is also on a chariot, and the enemy is running out of ways to deal with the chariots, which I think is going to be what will decide the battle. Clearly, it's not going to be the single entities. Mereworms are starting to get backed into the forest here, and we're starting to move them close to the edge of the map to get ready to withdraw them. They do, however, have regeneration, and we can still make use of them, just got to make sure that we withdraw when they're down to fairly low HP. Oh, that Grey Seer is very badly damaged now. And it looks like it's time for the battle to become a distributed battle. The Princess Ferrutulios has come back, and we've been healing her here and there within Apotheosis. And we definitely don't want to lose out on that Star Dragon in this particular fight after all, especially considering the bounce bow remains very heavily in the enemy's favor. Our Terranok chariots have arrived now and are helping out by firing upon that unit of Doom Flayers, Warp Flayers, Doom Flayers, which are stuck trying to go after Nashir. And we will quickly land one of the nobles to dish out a little bit of damage together with Ferrutulios against the Helpid Abomination, then we will back out. At this point, we have completely run out of ammunition on the Lothern Skycutters, and they join the ground chariots and start to annoy the giant piles of enemy infantry. But here we have the advantage. Yes, there are still 1, 2, 3... I want to say 3 Helpid Abominations moving around. There was a fourth one here together with a mutant Rat Ogre, but by the looks of it, the Rat Ogre has only 1 more hit in him. Down he goes together with the Storm Vermin, Sword and Shield here. And 1 unit of Storm Vermin against 3 Mereworms, even though they're down to slivers of their HP, is not going to be enough to outdamage their regeneration, especially since it's not a halberd unit. Alright, now we're trying to keep the enemy blobbed up and trapped in place with our Lothern Skycutters, while the rest of our chariots continue irritating any isolated units, while at the same time doing their best to escape those Helpid Abominations. Alright, battle's still going fairly well. Also time to increase a little bit of our damage by popping off a little bit of spell work. And there we go, another one of those lovely fiery convocations moving through the enemy ranks. Nashir up to 256 and nearly 38,000 damage. Lovely. Thusly, we have taken damage on the Lothern Skycutters, but they've done their work and they're backing off, and it looks like one of the units of enemy Helpits has peeled away, while all 3 of the Mereworms are severely damaged. And we can't really see what's going on in there, but all 3 of them will focus down that single abomination with Ferrutulios' help, gang up on it and destroy it before it can deliver the final blow to any of the Mereworms. Down it goes, beautiful, and then I believe there were, I want to say, 2 Helpits running around. Can't really deal with them with the chariots anymore because our Skycutters and our Terranok chariots have run out of ammunition. Can I just say, what a fantastic fight this is, though? Oh, this is just wonderful. Anyway, and just keeping up with that chariot work now, riding through the enemy ranks, doing the charges, and backing out. And so far it's working. The bounce power has shifted back in our favor now to maybe 52%, just very, very slightly. The Helpits are too slow to keep up with the regular chariots, and obviously they can't reach into the sky to deal with the sky cutters. As soon as we take out the last of the remaining rattling guns, gutter runners, whatever range units the enemy still has remaining, they will have no recourse and be unable to deal with these sky cutters at all, who will continue their cycle charging, but by the looks of it, the Thilmar and Tiranoc chariots are still doing pretty darn well at the same. Alright, and of course, while we do still have some severely damaged single entities flying around, as long as they're on field, we can still use Apotheosis to periodically heal them here and there. It's obviously not going to be quite as much healing as something like Aislinn's army with double Ladriel's Shroud, or obviously Phaedon, or really any army with Life Lore. But it's more than enough for the small number of single entities that we have here. Ooh, does look like we have taken some damage on one of the chariots here, which is still at 4 out of 4, so it'll recover it fully. Just gotta be careful about charging it into the Storm Vermin with halberds there. But generally speaking, the charging will continue through the enemy ranks. Of course, the enemy will fight basically to the last rat because of the leadership buffs that the AI has. But that's alright. We're still in the fight. Feratulios even has a couple of arrows remaining in her quiver and is trying to do a little bit of damage to that extra Hellpit Abomination. It's really not much damage, but this, especially considering this thing has regen. But at the same time, it has reached its healing cap, so every little bit will count. Alright, and the bounce power continues to climb in our favor now. The chariots continue to do their work. And we've split the enemy army up across the entire battlefield to the point that they can do little. Ooh, I'm just losing my voice a little bit. It's been a 13-minute long brawl, a heck of a final fight for Feratulios, which is great. It's fantastic because it's one of our latest built armies. And it's certainly a composition that had a couple of the best fights in the campaign against Kugath, well, with Phaedon there. But yeah, absolutely magnificent. And tactically, there isn't too much to say anymore, as with that, the enemy losses begin to tell. Once again, we isolate a Hellpit Abomination, Feratulios, both the nobles activating their colossal strikes for that anti-large, and our healthiest Mereworm here, all rush it. But it looks like it didn't matter, as our chariots were just dealing with all of those enemy infantry who did not have anything that they could do anymore. With that, Tretch's army will break and will get, by and large, probably chased down by all of our chariots. Absolutely fantastic fight. Ah, good lord, that was a fun fight. I'm glad I made the decision not to withdraw. It did mean severe damage on some units, but at the end of the day, it got us an incredibly fun fight. Frankly, I don't think we're going to find a funner fight, so that's probably the final battle of the campaign. Man, was it great. I really enjoy using this army. Good job to Kornach and the other Mereworms, though this one was forced to flee the battlefield a little bit early. Great job to our chariots, which kept us in the game after the Lothern Skycutters had run out of ammunition, though their damage and damage dealt as Gold Valley was solid. Great job to the Thilmar chariots, who obviously didn't spend as long in combat as the Tiranoc chariots, who were also using up all of their ranged attacks, but again, stayed in the game. Absolutely magnificent fight for Feratulios, and her own damage. She was no slouch at all here. I should really get a healing potion on her instead of that potion of toughness, but beautiful. Oh, look at that. We're over 100,000 gold per turn. Our trade is at 118,000 per turn. Hey, very nice. And speed increase to Feratulios. Great, I guess. The dragon's already pretty quick. Too bad we can't chase these guys down for good, but I guess that's just fine. I do wonder whether this guy's going to try us next turn, but I guess we'll just have to see. We are missing... Alright, we need that one elven colony, so we do still have to end the turn. Creek Head Taker's kind of running around, but... I mean, if we can win battle against one of... can't draw you forward, can we? I do wonder if he'll run. He just keep going and going, but I don't know if I should. This episode is already ridiculously long. What does the battle say? Nah, he's gonna run, meaning he's not worth fighting. Alright. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's running out of this. The game is generally not poised to recognize the strength of sort of unusual army comps oftentimes, so I'm surprised that he's just willing to fight it, but well. Mantressa, you stay in ambush stance. I think that's everybody, but yeah, such a fun fight. Building. We got what, 2? 1? And more trade, just because. And Reverlensk. Yeah, I guess we're not abandoning Erengrad then, are we? Oh, Bleak Coast. We're making 7,000. Pretty darn solid, and it could get solid. Get that Walls of Arnheim, giving us defensive supplies plus 300 for all provinces. Isn't that lovely? And Elven colony availability plus 1. Alright, I assume it's going to work next turn, so we'll skip. Okay, we had commandment available as well, I guess. Growth, not that it hard. Oh, that'll drop you below the 7k, but whatever. Alright. I'm going to assume I haven't forgotten anything. Let's see if anybody else is willing to try us. The Disciples of Kashut, with it, rank 50 admittedly, are indeed willing to try us here. Good for them. Though, funnily enough, the Dreadquake Mortar is usually such a threat, would not be so threatening here. Alright, somewhat impressed that they're willing to try the 1v1, even damaged as we are. Let's see how they do. I guess we're in it to the end with this army. Oh, quick save because of the, crash and go. Alrighty, here we go. Looks like Vertulios will probably round out the campaign for us by fighting again, and again, I think it's pretty fantastic that the Lord with the least amount of screen time in the campaign will get the most amount of screen time in the final episode. Pretty appropriate. Alrighty, here we go. The enemy Lord, Sorcerer Prophet. How much missile resistance do you got? 35 and 10, eh? Pretty solid, I gotta say. And the fact is, we have fire damage on the Tyrannog chariots thanks to a buff here. So the fire resistance is going to make them do a lot less damage to the enemy army. But what can you do? Gonna do our best to try to knock out that Sorcerer Prophet, though, who is down to about half HP, while we keep the Mareworms and the other single entities as far back as we can. The longer the enemy gets to us, the more time we will have to heal the Mareworms and the Nobles and the other single entities with our units with our Apotheosis, not units. Ooh, looks like one of the Skycutters does get focused down and brought down, kept everybody firing too long. I was hoping to bring down the enemy Sorcerer Prophet, but it looks like overstaying the welcome a teensy bit. Soul Quench gonna fly towards the enemy, impacting a couple of the enemy Kadai Fireborn, and doing a little bit of damage. It's a magic missile best used against blobs of infantry instead, but all good. And the Kadai are going to rush those Tyrannog chariots, and again with the fire resistance, it's probably going to keep the Tyrannog chariots a lot less useful in this army, or in this battle, than they have been in the previous. Also, I like the fact that with this last episode, we're getting a few fights against some factions which we haven't fought a lot over the campaign, like the Chaos Dwarfs and the Skaven. And Nurgle over the last couple of episodes as well. Anyway, we rush with all 4 Mareworms who quickly rip those Kadai Fireborn to shreds. And since there aren't too much in the way of single entities rushing around, we're going to switch to Split Shot and start focusing on those extremely deadly Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses led by the Granite Guard. Time for the chariots to move as well. The bolts from our Skycutters heralding the arrival of the Tyrannog chariots, which rush through the enemy ranks and close close the distance with the piles of enemy range units as the battle well and truly begins. The Terranok chariots charge through and the Thilmar chariots will follow suit. Gotta keep those units of blunderbusses from firing. I think they have a fire glaive in here as well, unless I'm mistaken. But either way, I don't think they're gonna get too many shots off. Beautiful, and this particular army is going to be a lot more vulnerable to this, even more vulnerable than the Skaven army was in the previous battle, simply because the enemies do not have the single entities here to stop our chariots, which are causing absolute havoc both to their melee and missile troops. This was the concept behind the enemy army, with the Mereworms pinning as many of the enemy units in place as we can, while the chariots cause havoc. Unfortunately, this army has been running into enemy armies, that have been kind of counter to this, like the Kugath armies, and to a lesser degree, well, actually, maybe not even so much a lesser degree, but Tretch's army with a giant pile of Hellpit Abominations and Doom Wheels rather than Storm Vermin, which are his signature. But all good. We carried the day there, and by the looks of it, we're carrying the day here as well. The bounce power has shifted to about 70% in our favor. Some blunderbusses are attempting to knock out that Star Dragon, which we will hit with another Soul Quench, and then charge those chariots right through. Yeah, this is what I wanted from this army. I just wanted to see those chariots riding around those Mereworms. And there we go. By the looks of it, the enemy losses have begun to tell. The enemy army begins to waver, and with that, Veritulios will carry another day. And I think, most likely, we will actually have recovered some HP off of this army. We did lose one Sky Cutter, but we do have time to chase, and our Mereworms are healthier now than they were back when we fought Tretch, thanks to Apotheosis. Very, very nice. Damn, I was really hoping we could steal that Lichbone Pennant. Gorda's Backstabber had one on him, and I was like, please, please, just let me finish the campaign with that Lichbone Pennant that I wanted for 100 turns, but alas, no dice. Oh well, not a big deal. Pretty great fight, worked well for us, certainly. The enemy had way too many infantry units. Missile and melee like to have any real chance against our chariot-heavy army. And yeah, these guys certainly did significantly worse than the rats did, just by virtue of not having those big old monsters. So full advantage of chariots, which obliterated them all. Lovely. Stolen from the enemy. Not the one I wanted, but who knows, maybe we can chase down Gordas and still steal it? Or, wait, no, the Lord is gone, meaning, yeah, we won't get it. Because it's on Gordas, but Gordas isn't the one holding it. You know what I mean. Damn you, Lichbone Pennant. Why must you be so difficult to find? But oh well. Oh, yeah, those were some great final fights out of these guys. What do you want? You are angry about the... Join war against... Oh, Hishwat. I thought that was Talaqua, and I was like, excuse me? Have you gone insane? But no. We're not going to join war, and it looks like nobody else will dare to attack us. Manner of Swiftness is ours, ambushes foiled, technology researched, ambusher discovered, and there it is. A long victory complete. Not that we need it, but campaign movement range plus 20, hero recruit rank plus 10, and more dragon ship supply cost reduction, which is not needed, especially because we have all that we could want. It's free already, so yeah. We will take this... Oh, you know what? We'll give the Vol's Anvil to one of our allies. It's not like we need money, and I'm just very curious to see. I guess this is closest to Nagaroth. I'm just very closest established. Very curious to see whether we can build the landmark. We cannot. Okay. Well, these guys get Vol's Anvil. It was the principle of the thing anyway. And then we will simply peace out with you and go back into defensive alliance like so. Like so. There we go. We have what we wanted. We have the long victory. We have every single elven ancient colony. And look, the episode has already gotten to an insane length, and I'm sure, well, we could maybe, well, not Queek because he ran away like a coward, could find another fight somewhere. I think we got what we wanted. I wasn't even expecting to get that great final fight against Azag with Aislinn, but it happened, and I'm just generally very happy about it. These guys looked like they, well, backed off rather than fighting, so we're not going to bother with them. And yeah, with that, this campaign comes to a close. Let's face it, not really anything left to do. We won the final battle like ages ago. The cache, whatever, the Starwood cache, Lost cache, whatever the battle was called. It's the Lost Cache. Shut up. Anyway, the Darklands and the adjacent areas are the only places that are remaining of any real kind of threat, any real enemies, and we just crippled Rictus. We probably are on the way to crippling Moors. There isn't much left here. Well, probably could get a few battles out of Ostrogoth still, but he's rapidly losing his territory, and both Arbol and Archaon are too weak to really threaten us. And I'm just not willing to go through like a dozen more turns just to properly hunt any of their armies down. Also, I figure like leaving some enemies at the end here, I don't know, it kind of seems to make sense from a sort of geopolitical perspective. Keep just enough enemies there for the lesser beings like the humans to, be distracted fighting them instead of immediately turning upon each other. We've made the Empire safe as we've crippled what remains of the Bone Rattlers and Throg, so these guys are well on the way to recovery, and while the humans will inevitably turn upon each other, because that's what we do, the Age of Peace will settle upon the Elven lands with the absolutely massive amount of continental buffers that we have against all of the enemies. All the ancient colonies thrive once again, and we have we've done everything. Ulthuan is once again the sort of rightful place as the center of the world. Stats-wise, just a real quick check. Anything interesting here? Actually, considering how Sale's a bit of a different lore, there might be some interesting stuff. Current settlements held 20. That's not bad colony-wise. It should be 21 because I was going to use the last colony slot for Valzanville, but I was very curious to see whether we could build it in the colony. It's a bit of a shame that we can't, but I guess it would then double up because these guys would build it, so it makes sense that we cannot. I probably could have figured that out without testing it out, but frankly, they need the reduction in cash more than we do, so all good. Anyway, let's see. Factions encountered 222 factions, destroyed 17. I think we were down to like 40-something factions at the end, and also a bunch of those would be rogue armies and rogue fleets, and then a huge bunch would also be our allies, just out of curiosity here. Oh, 40's last place. Poor Mazda Mundi. Look how we massacred him. Yeah, look at that. We're not strength rank 1? Well, good job to the Western provinces, but let's face it, they wouldn't have any kind of chance against us. This is just by virtue of the fact that we don't have settlements. It's just not recognizing our true strength here. But yeah, 1, 2, that's us, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first enemy is the 7th at Ostrogoth, and we had already defeated a couple of his armies, so he was done for. And then everybody else here, until the Warhost of the Apocalypse, is pretty much our allies. There's really nobody left to fear. Otherwise, a solid income. Ooh, our final trade income at 121,000 gold. Pretty solid. Probably could have, well, if we had kept going, we probably could have gotten it even higher and all that. Subterranean intercept battles 1. Admittedly, we weren't doing a lot of Greenskin and Skaven fighting. We're kind of out of the Badlands and Darklands and Mountains of Morn, so yeah, that makes sense. While there weren't a lot of those, we have 1 minor settlement battle defeats and land battle defeats 2, one of which was the withdrawal against Kugath, and I don't remember what the other one was. There's probably some minor, oh, this was, did one of our colonies get sacked at some point? well, I guess ultimately it doesn't really matter. Heroes assassinated, 1. That guy in particular. Yeah. Anyway, folks, thanks for sticking with it to the end. Aislinn had a really fun campaign, and I just couldn't help myself in going for the big finale here every single time, because, look, they're not worth it. Like, I was going to start a new campaign yesterday, because it takes me a full frickin' day to record and edit one of these finales. It's a billion battles, it's a ton of editing, etc., etc., etc. And every single time I tell myself, it's not worth it because, you know, at this point, by the point of the finale, the engagement has dropped to nothing, and I shouldn't even be posting it on the channel anymore because it, you know, it harms the channel from a YouTube algorithm perspective. But I can't stop because I'm weak and just want to keep fighting things. That's why we're here after all, I guess. So yeah, some great fights in this one. Really fun campaign. Hope y'all join me for the start of the next one later today, I think. So just need a little break after this whole session. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.